What is going on, everybody? We are back live in the house on a Thursday night. Hopefully you guys are doing well as you get ready for the weekend. Look who's back. We got Todd back in the house tonight. So
what's up?
Todd was actually off last week. He was getting worked over there at the job, so he needed a little break, which is called cool and good. So what is going on? Welcome back, my friend, and on a vacation eve for you, so to speak.
That's right. Yeah, I'm ready for a beer. Been a crazy whirlwind 2 months at work for sure. It's been crazy busy. This week, a little bit more mild, but still busy. But I'm ready for a beer. Taking off tomorrow and using vacation day, so ready to rock and roll.
Start to miss those days that you had off before.
I know. Like I was ready to go back to work, and then like first couple of weeks, you're like, okay, and then you're like, this sucks. I want to be off again. This work thing's for the birds.
Like, yeah, why am I working again? I want to get out of here. So yeah, I hear you there. But no, good to have you back, my friend. And it's been
appreciate it.
Like been drinking every night since Monday. Like
I was gonna say, as fit me in on all the live streams you've been doing with all the big beer guru guys. I kind of feel special now.
Yeah, I'm going to plan that out with a little more spread over the next few days. So it's kind of like it was all good. We had a great fun week. We had a lot of good action. You know, we had Eric in from Lord Hobo, and the last night we had Anthony in, which a lot of people like from Sipping with Sizzle, and then Tuesday we had Greg and Duggan from Daddy Porter's group. So good week thus far, and a nice way to cap it off. We head into the weekend. I thought, well, maybe this weekend I probably won't drink because of all the other shows I've done. But then I'm like, but it's the weekend.
But it's still, I was going to say, and why, so.
And I just told Skyview Paladin, that's actually over on Blake's stream. He's been trying to see what this mead that I got tastes like. So I said, I'll finally do the mead this weekend. So we'll see. It's the first time I've actually going to do a mead review. So we'll see how that turns out. A little bit of
there you go.
So that should be pretty interesting. And shout out to the people in the chat. We got Vanessa in the house. We also got RV10 Flyer in the house. Cheers. Good evening, my friend. And make sure you guys let us know what you're actually tasting out there as well. We got Adam in the house from Mercy Beers. Good to see you, buddy. And then we got Jeremy V in the house. What is going on? So welcome to all you guys out there. I'm going to actually get a beer cracked open in a second. What do you got there right now as we begin? You know how we do.
So I was inspired 2 weeks ago on our show 2 weeks ago. We were talking about the Trader Joe's stuff. So I swung by the next day. And of course, I went on the show last week. So I got the coffee peanut butter cup porter.
Oh, you're killing me. Yeah, nice.
But they didn't have the Christmas cookie one or whatever the other one was.
I'm looking forward to seeing you taste that one there because when I went, they actually didn't have it anymore.
Oh, really? They had a shit ton of them still. I'll try to pick you one up if you want one.
If you get one, they didn't have the cookie butter either. Cookie sold out in 2 days. They told me.
Okay, yeah. So they didn't have that one either, but they did have this one. And they had, I don't know. I don't say shit ton, but they probably had at least 12 or 15 of them, probably.
Yeah.
For what, $3.99, I think is what they were. I'll tell you what, the smell coming out of the bottle is pretty insane. For the peanut butter just coming right out. It's like,
really?
I hope it tastes what the way the smell is. I'm usually always disappointed with the peanut butter ones, though. I don't.
That's a good smell way for you as well.
They always smell way better than they taste to me. I'm kind of curious. We'll mix with the coffee, see how. It says porter with peanut butter, powder, coffee, and lactose.
Peanut butter is just becoming so popular now.
And it's I didn't even realize 9%. Gotta like that.
Oh, session ale.
Yeah, right. We'll start off with
yeah, baby.
Night off.
Yeah, nice little session ale to enjoy.
That pours nice little dark. I can't remember what my camera was on. A little dark. It dissipated pretty quickly. Man, the peanut butter aroma is just crazy on this thing.
Is it like a Reese's coming out or Butterfinger?
More Butterfingerish to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's more. I don't know. To me, like the Butterfinger has more of an imitation peanut butter smell to it than the Reese's cup does. To me, anyway, personally.
Cheers, Gilbert.
What's up, Eric?
TV is 9%, Vanessa.
Wasn't getting any coffee on the nose at all.
Yeah, what about the taste?
Yeah, I do get some of the taste. Peanut butter is there. I want to say it's for $3.99, 9%er. Signing me up all day for that thing.
One of the better ones you got.
It's yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good peanut butter one. I'm kind of surprised, honestly. I mean, I know they have some decent stuff there. You know, I don't know how much they still do, but you know that Firestone or whoever would brew for them, supposedly. Right. But yeah, no, this one's definitely get the kind of the milky, the lactose creaminess of it. Get the nice peanut butter, to me, like a Butterfinger type flavor to it. Doesn't taste so artificial. Yeah, I'm sure you probably experienced it too on a lot of the peanut butter ones. For me, like on the smell, they smell incredible. Once you taste them, it kind of the peanut butter in it just seems really artificial and fake. This one, even though it says on the bottle, it says powder, so you'd expect it to be as such, but it doesn't taste as artificial to me. I'm trying another sip.
Oh, you'll be trying another sip, all right.
I had it. Yeah. Now on the back end, the coffee isn't overpowering, but you do get a little bit of the coffee bean, coffee roastness to it, but it's not like hit you in the face like some of the coffee stouts or, you know, coffee porters that you would have where it's big bold up front. But it is a nice, kind of finishes up nicely on the back end because you get a little bit of the sweetness of the peanut butter and that lactose up front, and then it kind of mellows out in the back. The coffee kind of mellows it out again. It's nice. That's a good. I'm impressed with it, honestly. Especially 9% for $3.99. That's a Rajay deal. That wasn't even a deal.
Sometimes the money, the price is just a number. Yeah, you can find some lower cost stuff that'll be a good surprise. They got a ton of them there. You said still.
I'll go back. Well, I'm not at work tomorrow, but I'll go back after work Monday and see if they've got some still. I will pick for sure. Get you one, and I'll get myself another one. Hell, I might just buy them out, whatever they have left. 9% for $4 a piece.
Yeah, I went to the one here in Cincinnati, and they were like, "I'm like, don't you guys have like that bomber of the peanut butter?" And like, "Oh, we don't get the bombers anymore." I'm like, well, I got friends that are getting bombers, and apparently they cut back on making them, but at least at the store here they didn't have any. And then I was like, "What about the butter cookie?" And they said that's the one that was going in a couple of days when they got it in. So
it's kind of wild though that you would, you know, at a place like that, it would actually sell out or go that quick. You know what I mean?
Well, there was a lot written about the butter cookie one, so people.
Was there?
Yeah. So. Okay. I think that took off pretty quick on them. But the peanut butter, like you had, that's the one that was brought up on the show last couple of weeks about trying to get.
Yeah. So, yeah, they still had it. So, I'll definitely I'll go check it out Monday after work and see if they have them. If they do, I'll grab one for you. Oh, yeah. Also today, I was going to tell you, I can just send you a little care package with some of those other Black is Beautiful beers that I have if you want one of those. But I also picked up today, didn't even know they made one at the liquor store today. 3 Floyd's Black is Beautiful.
Get out.
I didn't, and I'll send one. I got it was a 6-pack. It was a 6-bottle pack. They were just sitting there on the shelf. I was like, one, I didn't even know they made them.
I didn't even know they were. Yeah,
me either. I didn't even know they were in on it.
Yeah, I've got some help back. I was going to say if you want me to get down to you. So yeah, definitely take a look.
If you want to, yeah, I wouldn't mind swapping singles for each, and that way you can get a.
Because you still got the Fall City, and what's the other one you got?
Yeah, there's the Fall City and Monique collaboration. Then it was Mile Wide and False Idol Brewing, which all in Louisville, downtown. So then come across the 3 Floyds just sitting on the shelf. I didn't even know that they even made one. So I was like, okay. I kind of thought those beers were done and over with a little bit, unless you just happened to stumble across them or something.
Yeah, like was it like a little off the beat type store, or was it just?
No, that's the weird thing. Like the store I normally go to, there's 2 locations, and they are usually sell all the time, quick. This other liquor store is in New Albany, which is just Floyd County, which is just right down the road from where I used to work at. It's not that far. Actually, I passed the liquor store going to my brother-in-law, so he's keeping our Greyhound for us for the weekend, and so I passed that liquor store. So on the way back, I was like, I dropped the dog off, and on the way back, I was like, I'm gonna run in because I wanted to get some. Bought a bottle of that Screwball whiskey to take with us to Tennessee, and so I stopped. I was like, I'm gonna get some liqueur too, like a banana flavor or even a chocolate flavor to kind of mix them together. Have peanut butter banana or peanut butter chocolate, or all 3, and try it. Right?
Yeah. Right.
So I went in and had that 99. I don't know what it's called. It's a 99. I think it's just 99 banana liqueur, but it's like 99. I don't know if that's the ABV or I don't know what it is, but it's I bought them in little shots for $1. So now I was just walking around the store and I stumbled across the 3 Floyd's Black is Beautiful. That's where I was going with the story. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll take that too. So I bought the banana liqueur and some chocolate liqueur and it was less than $40. It was like $37 or something. So I'm not actually sure what the Black is Beautiful beer was. See, the liqueur was 10. The chocolate was probably 12 or 10. Yeah, it's probably $12, $13. If I had to guess for a 6-pack.
Around, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's an oatmeal. I think it's an oatmeal stout, and I think it said 7.5%. I think on the 3 Floyd's one. So, okay. But it's a good liquor store though. They got a lot of stuff in there. I mean, it's a nice. I don't know if people just don't really buy craft beer much out of that store. I'm not really sure. One thing I do like about that store is they will sell discounted bottles. If they do have like a discounted shelf where if they got IPAs, it might be a little over, past due. Well, they'll sell them, lower price. So
they tell you that, like instead of
yeah. But the store I normally prefer to go to, there's a friend of mine that owns it. He doesn't really do that, and I'm really not sure why. And I kind of hate that he doesn't, because you do kind of have to watch sometimes with some of the IPAs there, because they do tend to run a little old sometimes if they're not buying it. You might just break them up and sell them at a just discounted price just to clear the shelf, if nothing else, and get some of your money back. Even if you break even, it's better than just sitting there and not making anything off of it,
Yeah. And there's some places where some distributors will turn their product and take some of the old out. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would think should be something they should do. Mm-hmm. Let me see. But Vanessa had asked if anybody tried the Butterfinger formulation. They really sucked the new one. I actually don't eat Butterfinger candies, really.
I don't eat it too much.
I just remember when I have some of the peanut butter beers, like I'll get Butterfinger in my head. Actually, the only candy I really kind of eat now is once in a while is Reese's Pieces, or the peanut butter cups, or the peanut butter cups with Reese's Pieces inside of them.
I haven't tried that one yet.
Yeah, those are pretty addictive. You can go through those really quick.
That sounds good.
Gilbert's like, going to make lunch and do dishes, then beers and whiskey. So making lunch for tomorrow?
I was going to say, you're about the same time as we are there, right? Pretty close enough.
RV, nice call on that one. I need to get some more of their beers, but the St. Curla is such a good brand of beer. It's got the double bock he's rocking tonight. So very nice call. Says it actually goes good with smoked fish from Latvia. So yeah, they do some good stuff, and they got that little smoke feel in their beers that I like. And Vanessa saying, I think that's just all the turkey. Feel like roasting one tomorrow. Just on a whim, just want to roast a turkey.
Why not? Knowing Vanessa, she's probably going out shooting it.
Yeah,
cleaning the feathers and everything, and then gonna go ahead and roast it.
Well, if it's in the freezer, she probably shot it already, right? So
Well, she did say thaw out. Yeah, that's true.
And then your mom's in the house. Peggy's in the house. Said, hey, guys, Todd looking forward to the weekend. So, yeah, it's going to be a crazy weekend. I was teasing. I said either Craig is going to be either Clark or he's going to be Eddie from Vacation.
Shitter's full, Clark. Shitter's full.
But I'm actually going to go ahead and crack this one open. So this is actually one from the Witchwood Brewery, Hobgoblin, the English ruby beer that I picked up when I went to Jungle Gym. So not a real heavy beer. This one, I believe, is 4.5%. Yeah, 4.5%. 16.9 ounce can, 500 milliliter. Brewed with roasted malts for a well-balanced, rich, smooth taste, full of mischievous character. So nice malted out beer. And I've had one
deal on those.
Yeah, well, actually, funny you say that. These were $2.99 for a 4-pack.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, I watched your video, but I can't remember if that was one of your discounted deals or not.
75 cents a beer. That's not bad.
Yes.
Get that nice malted look of the beer. Nice head on it. It's actually a pretty smooth, nice malt forward. Has some richness in there as well. You get a toffee type feel from the taste.
On camera, that's a wider head than I would have expected, but it might just be the camera.
That is, it's actually more of a lighter beigeish type color on the head. It's coming up lighter on the camera than it actually is, but it's got a little bit of darkness in the. It's kind of like a caramel or type brown color to the body itself. So, but if you like a malt forward type beer, then that's actually one you can actually drink. I don't know. I forgot to see what they usually do because they usually tell you what it's down from for something like this. But it was one I always see, but I just never picked up before. It was kind of like I was on my way out and I was like, oh, look at that. Just throw it in the cart. So not complaining. And that's it. Hello to Peggy and said turkey season's run through in the month. I have not gone out yet this year. So she hasn't actually killed any turkeys yet this year, but the one she's probably going to roast is probably one she got previously, I would bet.
I would say that's what I was just going to ask her. Is that if that was one she has previously killed? I would assume so.
Yeah. And then Vanessa says, I might soak some leather sheets to get off. I can't sleep. So in case you can't sleep, she has projects already lined up there. Looks yummy. I've had 3 Dragon's Mouth Stouts this afternoon and evening. You're on a little roll today.
Yeah.
Usually she's asking us if she needs to crack one open, but she's already done that.
Now, Vanessa, did she get the keg or she just got the bottles? Because a couple weeks ago, she was talking about a keg, I think, of getting a keg, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's looking to get a keg, but I don't know if she got it yet, but she knows where to get it from. She's found a place to get it from.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we had like I said, Sizzle was on last night, and Vanessa was saying how she had like a couple pages of notes and stuff for the stuff we were talking about, which was pretty cool. So, and he was even impressed by Vanessa. He was just like thrown back on everything as we talked to Vanessa last night. He was like saying, you got any daughters he can introduce his boys to, because he's got to handle everything. So, and Jimmy's in the house. What is going on? Cuff and Stuff Barbecue. Good to see you, brother. And if you guys don't know Cuff and Stuff, make sure you check out Jimmy. But we're kind of kicking it, talking some beers tonight. And then Peggy said hello back to Vanessa. Said, did not get the kegs yet. I have to sneak down to Brooklyn. So that's where she's going to pick that up. We got Lone Star in the house. What's going on? Lone Star, cheers. My friend Lone Star is actually drinking because he's about to take his second test for IT tomorrow. So good luck on that.
Ooh, yeah, good luck.
Blake's got him locked up like the bear over there. Apparently, help me, hashtag SOS. So he's in lockdown with the bear probably. Sizzle was awesome. Yeah, he was awesome to have one here, and we'll be doing some more stuff. And he's up in Columbus, so when I get up there, we'll definitely be hanging out and doing some things. Really have fun watching the show. Excellent. That's what it's all about. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was a good one for sure.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of good things up there in the Columbus area. He's connecting with the right people. There's some other people I'm going to get him in touch with that I know, and He's on it. He's smart. I didn't ask him how old he was, but I would say he's probably like in his 30s or so, but he's making all the right moves. We have out of state. I was right. You can't get out of state yet, really, without having to quarantine for a couple of weeks, probably. So, and then Jimmy said, we've had a Chinese visitor come and stay for about a week. It's been rough. Wow. Are you doing like a bed and breakfast thing there or Airbnb or something? Like, because I know some people rent out to rooms to do stuff. Like I don't know if I could do that. Like, you ever think you could do that? Like rent out a room? I don't know if I'd be able to sleep, like not knowing who that person is in a room.
No, because you know damn well they're going through all your shit, see what you got in there.
Well, you know what I think about is also there was an old movie that came out back in I think it was the 90s called Pacific Heights. And it was with Michael Keaton and I forgot who else was in it, but he was the one that was.
I know, yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah, so they rented out part of their house for him to rent there, and then once he moved in, they couldn't get him out because by law they couldn't evict him. And he was just tearing up shit and became like a psychotic and everything like that. And I'm like, that'd be my luck to get something crazy like that to happen. So
the girl that bought our old house before we moved to the house we're in now, she actually does that. She rents out her house like Airbnbs it on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still good friends with their next door neighbor, and he's always telling me, he's like, yeah, she's renting it out again this weekend. I'm like, how much Airbnb traffic could she possibly get in the area we live in? Like, you're close, we're close to Louisville, but it's like, it's got to be something closer to downtown.
Yes, but yeah.
Well, that's true. Apparently she, especially at Derby time, she makes a killing at Derby time.
Oh, I bet she would at Derby time. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can make a killing renting out your lawn for parking to her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you do like some of the college spots for the football games. So, Lothar, thanks for the support. I'm all kinds of nervous tomorrow. You got it, man. Just relax, get it in. You'll be all right. You're doing good and everything, it seems. So, hopefully everything pulls through, and then you'll be ready to drink again tomorrow night.
Deep breaths. Just take deep breaths.
Yeah, his recipes sound awesome. Sizzle has some pretty good ideas on stuff, and he's kind of like when I brewed beer a couple years ago. It's kind of like didn't want to just brew the basic, wanted to put like some type of twist on it. So he actually is definitely doing that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does here. This one comes with a high fever. Well, that's not good. I cannot do that at all. I can invite folks over, but that is a whole new level of paranoia for me to do that. Yeah, for them to actually rent out the spot and you don't know them, like if you invite them over, them, that's totally different, of course, like that. But yeah, to have like a stranger, in your house or stuff, so just be kind of, I don't know, it's just you don't know.
I would have to have like a special, like one of your spare rooms, and that would be it. Like nothing in there, just have it set up just for a guest or whatever, and then you just lock every other door, and she don't want them running in through.
Yeah, you always like
maybe that's what you do. I don't know. Like they wouldn't be sleeping in my room.
No, but I mean, if I had like maybe a guest house in the backyard or something, even then I would still be kind of freaked out. But something where they're in a separate house, or
right? Yeah.
But Vanessa, a lot of people around here in the neighboring towns rent their homes, and then I'm going to buy the mead and that gin to try his recipes he mentioned. Well, there you go. Or you could try to make the mead like. Eclectic Beer said, it doesn't take much to make the mead versus if you're trying to make a beer or something. So you do have that opportunity. And Emerson's in the house says cheers as well. Good to see you, brother. Hopefully you're also having a great Thursday night. So yeah, kind of just kicking it here. And let me see. Oh, they've been sick, coughing stuff. He asking about the people actually staying there. What was I looking at there? Yeah. So as far as looking at some of the other stuff, so again, one of the things I've been trying to do on the channel is each week, I need to write these down so I don't forget them, is introduce other channels that you guys might want to check out. And so this week, I'm actually going to do my boy Jay, who is actually up in the Dayton area. And if you haven't checked out his channel, it is this guy's thoughts. And let me pull that up here, and I'll share this with you here. And Jay actually does a lot of different beers as well. You can see the different videos he actually has in place here. And he has a good way of going in and breaking down the beers, breaking down the design of the cans or the bottles, how he feels about them, and has some fun with it. So I would definitely say to check him out if you haven't checked out this guy's thoughts. Great guy, fun videos. Videos usually between 5.5 to say 8 or 9 minutes, so not really overly long or anything like that. A lot of good selection, very colorful as you can see on the thumbnail. So he spices it up and stuff and gives you a lot of information. Kind of as far as a YouTube thumbnail, he probably gives you the information more than anybody else on the beer he's looking at, like stuff we look for on a can. He hits all that kind of stuff right here as well. So he's growing his channel. He's building it up. I think he was at, I think I saw it here earlier, 530 subs is what he has right now. So he definitely should be having more than that. And he's starting to catch a little bit of fire. So if you get a chance, check out this guy's thoughts as well. So real cool guy. And I'm going to actually drop his link in here too. That way, if you guys want to hit him up, you can do so. Always just say Rob J sent me. And good guys. So yeah, I'm just trying to introduce some different people and people that I see, people that I watch, people that I enjoy that I think you guys may enjoy too. Let me see here. Let me go back here to Vanessa says, yes, William Sonoma sells a meat making kit. Well, there you go. And Cover Stuff says, my family all tested positive on the same day. Wow, Jimmy. Well, hopefully, hang in there, man. Hopefully everything is mild type symptoms and stuff. And I guess you guys have to get retested and everything. And then Vanessa says, oh, darn Cuff as well. Quick hill through it. Yeah, definitely got you into thoughts, my friend. That you would get everything all handled. Bamboo's in the house. What is going on, Bamboo? Cheers, my friend. Happy Thursday to you as well. Hopefully you're having a great, early Thursday evening because Bamboo is out in Cali, so still early there. And we got Nina in the house as well. Just chased the last Marzon with their Cronenborg. There you go.
There you go.
Get that going down. Yeah. And Jimmy said thanks to Vanessa there as well. Yeah, definitely. And Bamboo said, hello, Vanessa, Emerson, Cuff, everybody. Howdy, panel guests, and everyone. So, well, you know Todd. Don't you know Todd? Oh, you know what? The names aren't up there now because I got the banner there. That's why it's not showing. See? There you go. There's Todd. You've seen Todd before. They're not used to seeing you without Shannon.
I guess so, yeah.
Which I'm getting requests for
just
Shannon.
Stuck with me. Do what? Getting requests?
Yeah, head coach is really requesting her back because he wants to do the question game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's like, you see Todd and Shannon. Tell him to come on. He was like, asking me on Joe D's show last week. When's Shannon coming back? I want to do the question game. The question game was like, yeah, I have Shannon on with Todd's wife, and we do this question games and we answer stuff. And he's like, oh, man, it's great, and blah, blah, blah. So let her know her presence is being requested back.
I will tell her. So she's off this weekend, which means she works next weekend. So it'll be 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks then, probably. Yeah. Which I don't know. Well, that'll be Halloween, though, won't it?
Yeah, Halloween.
I feel like I already have something planned for that. Well, we could do it. Well, I would say we might be able to do it on a Friday. Would a Friday night work? What are they doing
in your area on Halloween, though? Like our area. I know some areas aren't even doing Halloween.
They're doing it here, but we're not. Generally in our neighborhood, because it's so small anyway, and we don't get a lot of traffic, we usually just set a bowl of candy out and just let it go.
Oh, man. You're the house I used to love as a kid.
Mm-hmm. You know, the first year we actually did that, because a lot of times we end up going to my mom's house because she's in a bigger neighborhood, a huge neighborhood, and there's a ton of traffic come through there. We just like sit out and hang out with candy, look at all the different costumes and stuff, you know, and usually see a lot of people we know walking through there. You know, that's where I grew up at. So I usually see a lot of people we know. And, but yeah, this year, I don't know what they're doing because she's in a different city than or a little town than I'm in. But we're actually doing it here. I don't know why they decided they were going to do it, but I'm like. But anyway, what I was going to say, a couple of years ago was the first year we actually just set it out and left, and went over to her house to hand out candy and stuff over there and look at all the. And we got back and there was still candy left in the bowl. Like it didn't even look like it was
Really?
gone. I'm like, yeah, it's like. Wow, I would have never thought that. And then last year we did the same thing, and it was completely gone.
Well, I was going to say the kids are more courteous nowadays than we were kids, but maybe I guess not.
Yeah, maybe not. Which I didn't set out as much last year either, though. So that might have been why, because it was like there was a bag and a half left over. So I was like, I just won't buy so much, and then it was gone. So we'll probably do the same this year. But our cousin's talking about having some sort of a Halloween thing, but I don't know if we're going or not. So I'm not really sure what we're doing. If we're home though, but if not, I don't know. I know Blake does this thing on Friday, so I don't know if you want to do that on a Friday or not. But
yeah, I was actually asked to be on another podcast on that Saturday night because we're not going to really do anything with Halloween either as much here. Yeah. But and even if they do it, it's like I think they do it like 5 to 7 or something, 60. I don't know. So Saturday it might be a little different, but I haven't heard anything about what they're all doing around here. I mean, on our news, they're like talking about different precautions people are trying to take, but depends where you're at.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible idea myself, but whatever.
Yeah. And then Bamboo said, "Oh yeah, talk wow."
What's up, Bamboo? It hasn't been that long, I don't think.
Yeah, well, I think
it has been for Bamboo, though. Yeah. I wasn't even thinking it hadn't been that long for him either, but maybe it has.
Vanessa, I don't know if we should. I sort of can be near that. I mean, for you, Vanessa, I would definitely say not, just because of all the stuff you have going on. I can see where you're not going to participate. You don't want to keep opening the door and having kids and stuff where it might expose you to things. Of course, nowadays you could put a bowl out there rather easily if you got a ring cam and they approach you like just one.
We do have one of those. Yeah. that would be funny. That would be a good idea, just like to scare the shit out of them.
See a chubby kid. No, send the skinny kid up. Don't send the chubby kid.
I see your hands. See your hand check. How many you got?
Oh man!
One way you could battle that though is just put out some just bad candy that they don't want anyway. That way they're probably not going to take that much. But then you don't look like a douchebag either because you at least set out candy. So
right, yeah, put out like some Raisinets or something like that. And they're like,
right,
you don't like my Raisinets? And start yelling at them through the ring cam.
Raisinets or some of those peanut butter cluster things that are in the black and orange wrappers.
I'm like, when you're 65, you're going to want those Raisinets. I think people with ring cams actually should start tormenting the kids when they come up there and just start yelling stuff from their cameras. That'd be hilarious.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah. So when we should toss candy bars to the kids. I was always a fan of Snickers, Milky Way. I did like Butterfinger back then. I always liked the Twizzlers were always good. The Sweet Tarts, like the little Sweet Tarts in the packs, are always good too.
Oh yeah,
those are some of the ones I actually liked. The one that was the Smarties, I really liked when I was young too.
Smarties. Did you like the bottle caps?
Wasn't as big on the bottle caps. Wasn't as big. I think
either.
The reason why it kind of threw me off on that one, but
exactly, I was just curious. Same thing. Like I didn't like the root beer one. Like the purple and the pink ones were fine. But the root beer one, I'm like, oh, this is, yeah. So I was like, I didn't even like the bottle caps, period.
Now we get some of the, back when I was a kid doing it, was really popular. Like the Mary Jane candies were really popular. So they're kind of like those taffy type lollipops or whatever. Blow Pops were popular. Tootsie Pops were always popular. I wasn't a huge Tootsie Pop fan back then. I would trade those away with no problem. We get like dots, which get stuck in your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Peppermint patties. I liked peppermint patties. Those were good. Now and later's And like Reese's, they carry good value in the trade market because you could really get some good stuff if you want to trade those away, like those little 5-pack and now laters or whatever.
I like those.
Yeah.
I like now and laters. Those used to be those were big when back in grade school or elementary school. Trading those at lunchtime or something. You have a little pack in your lunchbox or whatever.
Packs of bubble. Bubblicious and Bubble Yum were pretty big for trading if you got a pack of that. Because you could break those down by pieces. You could break them apart, I one of these for one of that, Bazooka Joes were popular. Those were easy to get, though.
Yeah.
Occasionally someone
you could buy those for like a penny a piece at the grocery or at the little convenience stores or something.
Yeah, you go there. Yeah, we used to have a little store in our area. And you go up there, and it was like all kinds of the penny candy and stuff. We go there all the time, and then we play like video games because they had arcade and stuff. So we used to play video games and get the candy.
I like that gum, but you could only chew it for about 5 seconds, and then it was solid. It was hard.
Did not last long with the gum.
It did not.
The first minute, it was like great chewing a Bazooka Joe gum. Like that first minute, you were all into it.
Maybe that's why they were only a penny, because you had to have so many of them, because you can only chew it for like a minute, you'd spit it out, and you have to get another piece. Start all over again. It was like
the thing I
cycle.
hate is I could never blow a bubble, and other people would be able to blow bubbles with, and I was like, I could never blow a bubble. That was never a skill I was able to develop. So, people got these big old bubblegum bubbles, and I'm like, I can't do that.
That's a pretty good talent with that gum though, because that was hard. You'd have to chew on it for a while to get it good and pliable to do that though.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the pixie sticks were popular too. We'd have people that get the pixie sticks. Yeah, those are always.
I also like those fun dips. The fun dips
are We didn't really get Halloween though. Usually had to get those at the store, but they didn't really have like Halloween type packets. They didn't that we ever really saw. It was kind of like you go to the store, you get the 3 basically flavored sugars with this stick, or 2 sticks, I think, were in the big pack. With actually the stick was the thing. I thought when you put the powder on the stick, but the stick was my favorite part to actually have out of the pack.
Yeah, that was just basically like hardened sugar.
Yeah.
Now I feel like though in those, I remember the 3 packs, but I feel like maybe it came at a little bit later time than when you was trick or treating. But I feel like they came in like single individuals where it was just like a cherry or a strawberry, or whatever the flavoring was, grape or whatever.
Maybe they did later on.
And there's just one little pack, and you just got one little stick or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what sticks out. But I do remember the multi-pack ones or whatever.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like you got like 3 different colors of the sugars, but you only got like 2 sticks. I'm like, but there's 3 different colors. Why do you only have 2 sticks?
It was a big pack. You got 3. You got the grape. You got I think it was the lime, and I think it was the cherry. But you got 2 sticks.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Because the first stick would break at some point when you're doing it. So it's like then you had to make sure you didn't break the second one, because you're looking at finally you'll bite the stick to break it or whatever. And it's like shit. I ate the other stick. Having 3 would have been nice. Having 3 would have been good on those.
I mean, you think 3 different colors, 3 different sticks. Yeah. Wouldn't make too much sense, I guess. I'm not really sure.
And what was the other one? The other one was Bitter Honey. That was another one that we used to get. That was almost like the Mary Jane type candies as well. You had to chew that.
I wasn't big on those as a kid, though. I like them now, or I like them now, but I didn't like them too much then.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. I ate them, but they weren't like my favorites out of it. But I was used to. But they were like get stuck in your teeth too as you're chewing those.
Yeah,
things.
Well, kind of like those peanut butter kiss things or whatever they were called, where they're just in the solid black and the solid orange wrappers.
Yeah.
Where you could buy like a whole big old bag of them for like $1 or something. I don't know. They were cheap, it seemed, because everybody was giving them out.
Well, we had
I wasn't a big fan of those either, really.
We had the candy cigarettes back then too, which is be big taboo nowadays.
I know.
Teaching kids how to smoke.
I remember riding my bike up to the convenience store, picking up baseball cards, Bazooka Joe, just to get the comics off the gum and candy cigarettes.
And we would get the Swedish fish at the penny store too.
Swedish fish.
Yeah, Swedish fish were pretty popular.
Mm-hmm. Those actually seem like they kind of came back around a little bit.
They're pretty popular. I think that a lot of people like to do. But we were like, I think by the time I was in high school was when the gummy bears started to come out. Like most of the time going trick-or-treating, gummy bears weren't out yet. But by the time I was in high school, gummy bears were out. So towards the end of high school or so, I think. Because I think they came out like mid-'80s or so, if I remember correctly, mid to late 80s.
Sounds probably about right.
Yeah, so... But those would have been an easy thing to get to if you were trick-or-treating.
What about nerds?
We did get to get the nerds. So we had the nerds and the sweet tart. The nerds would be like in a little box here. We would get those. Mm-hmm. I like the nerds. Those were good.
I still like them.
When I was little, they'd have Pop Rocks that would be given away as well.
Oh, yeah.
Cracker Jacks was popular back when I was a little kid, too, for trick-or-treat. So you'd have that, which is always good because you get the prize inside of it. So you got like a type thing. You got Cracker Jacks.
Were they like the little boxes you'd get like at baseball games or something? Or
yeah, they're like a little box, and you eat the Cracker Jacks, but inside of it would be like something like a tattoo or some type of decoder ring or whatever it may be, and it's like
yeah,
little tattoo. You get it wet, you put it on your hand or whatever, and you'd have it for like 3 days or something. When you were that
kind of a little smaller than like a Kraft macaroni and cheese box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd also have some people that would give out like apples, and it's like, what do you apple? I don't want this apple.
Apple, popcorn balls.
No person on the block would be like, candy on Roger?
So what? Give me it anyway.
I'll be back with some eggs. Or we'd have people give you pennies, which were like, really? But actually, they give you pennies. You're able to go to the penny store and spend them, but it's like, look at it, it's like, that's just laziness then. You don't even want to go buy the candy. You're just giving them money. Like, come on, you can at least get the candy for me.
I think I've said this on the show before, but a neighbor across the street from my mom's house, even when I was kids, they do it, and they still do it today. I think she did. Well, he's passed away, but I think she still does it. They hand out Big K soda, from Kroger, like the Big K pops.
I didn't know that.
They'll hand out a can to each, to when they come up, and they'll have like stack because you can get like a 12-pack. You catch them on sale for like $1.99 or something for 12 of them or whatever. Yeah, and they'll have just like all these like sitting on their front porch. They just have stacks and stacks of 12-packs, and they'll just hand out like a can to every kid. And there'd be like a line waiting to get up to their porch to get a can of Coke or whatever, black cherry or whatever the different flavors,
Oh man, that's hilarious.
I mean, it was always popular for sure.
Yeah, my friends, I don't know if they do it where you're at. They probably do, but a lot of times they do stuff like give beer to parents and stuff when they come around now. So that seems like
I was just going to say that at our old house, of course, lived right around the corner from John, Shannon, and we'd always go walk with our kids around the neighborhood, and all the parents, we're big beer drinkers, whatever, and they'd hand them kids and they'd hand us a beer. Hell, we'd walk around the neighborhood and get 6 to 12 beers just walking around.
Yeah.
But then we would in return we'd hand out a beer to them or something, or the ones that we knew was okay with it.
It's a pretty good idea to do it that way for sure. Vanessa says, I want to get a T-Rex costume and run up and down the street tossing candy one year. Actually, one of the guys in our neighborhood a couple years ago, he actually had a T-Rex outfit. He was out there going crazy like that. Those are pretty popular. I wonder if you should toss candy bars to the kids. You could have like a social distance circle. They have to stand and you just toss a candy bar to them.
There you go.
Sit in a chair in the driveway and toss the bars. Yeah. Bought full-size candy bars. A full-size Nestle won't hurt your head too much on a toss. No. Dark chocolate Milky Ways. Yeah, but when I was a kid, I don't think they ever had like the dark chocolate variation. It's just like the regular Milky Way. But I do like the dark chocolate Milky Ways now. Nacho Waggers. I've never seen it. Or Nacho. Oh no, I know what those are. That's like the little disc things. I was not. Is that what I'm thinking of? The little disc things.
Sure
if it is,
sure what those are.
if it's like those little skinny wafers, I was not a fan of those, which I think that's what that is. Tootsie Rolls, I wasn't a huge Tootsie Roll person. Like I said, I didn't like the Tootsie Pops as much or the regular Tootsie Roll candy. I would definitely trade those when we came back to school after Halloween to people that did like those. Those were like some of the first ones in the bag were the Tootsie Rolls.
I like Tootsie Rolls. I didn't mind getting those.
Yeah. Payday bars, I did have Payday in the past. Yes, wafers. Yeah, see those Necto, I was not. Oof. I don't know. They were kind of just a weird taste to me when I had those.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they weren't like the Sweet Tarts. They weren't like the Sprees. There was something like a little different. It was just, yeah. Another one like Spree. That was like the knockoff Sweet Tart, right? When they came out with the Sprees. Yeah, the wafer cookies. They're like not cookie, but candy, like a really thin disc.
Who mentioned the Payday a while ago? Just have you ever tried taking the candy corn and putting peanuts with it in like in a bowl together? You mix them up.
Candy corn was not my thing. I did not like candy corn.
But they taste almost just like a Payday. It's crazy.
See, now we're going to Zima and Jolly Ranch where you got to add stuff to it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you don't like it, but I was gonna say just throw some nuts in it, but throw some peanuts in there, and then you might change your mind.
Yeah. Oh. Vanessa said Baby Ruth, except after Caddyshack came out with Nina said $100,000. I do like the $100,000. That had a nice little caramel type fill into it as well. Very nice. Oh, let me see.
How do you think about those?
So you got Dollar Beer in the house. Welcome. Thoughts on Moscato? Got the big Natty Daddy avatar as well. Actually, I don't drink as much of the wine. I have some, but Moscato, don't really have a feel on that one. I usually like Shiraz and some of the cabs. I like more of that, the red type feel. I'm not sure if Moscato, that's one of the red or one of the whites, but my wife actually enjoys it once in a while. I've never got into having enough of it to have an opinion.
Shannon used to like Moscatos, and then now she thinks they're way too sweet.
Oh, does she now? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I thought you were going to ask about the Natty Daddy there. How many packets of Pop Rocks did you put in the mouth at the same time? Those contests were fun. Yeah, doing the Pop Rocks. And then you had the rumor about Mikey, dying from the Pop Rocks and Coke, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, explode in your stomach or something like that. I don't know, whatever it was.
And then that was kind of like the Bloody Mary type thing.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
You wanted to try it, but then you're like, what if it's true? Like, you wouldn't want to say like 13 Bloody Marys because you're afraid, like, what if that 13th Bloody Mary does show up? Like, you're like, the Pop Rocks kind of fell into that category. Like, I can try to put the Pop Rocks in, but let's see what happens.
Or like, was it did you have to say it 13 times? Is that what it was?
13 times for Bloody Mary, I believe. It was Candyman. Candyman was like 13.
Oh, that was 3. That's what I was thinking of. I think that was only 3 times.
For Candyman, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
13 in the mirror in the dark in your bathroom or something. And like, even like when in college, like someone go do it, you're like, nah. You're like drunk. Nah, I still ain't gonna do it. I don't care if I am drunk right now. I'm not saying that.
I don't think I ever made it to the end on that. Actually, I think I tried it before, but I never could get to whatever the number was. I couldn't remember. Yeah, if it was 13.
I didn't even try it. No, I'll pass.
But Candyman. Okay, I'm done. Turn the lights on.
I've done the Ouija board, but I wasn't doing Bloody Mary.
I have done a Ouija board before too.
Yeah, we've done the Ouija board, and what's up, Thrash? And
what's up, Thrash?
We actually had an episode my freshman year in college. We did the Ouija board, and we had one of the guys we used to hang out with. He ended up dropping out of school and like going crazy. He said from playing it or whatever. They were saying like the thing with the Ouija board is like you're not supposed to play it by yourself or something.
Right.
Like that's part of the folklore, I guess, everything around it. And he ended up playing it by himself one time, and everybody been drinking that night, but he actually did freak out. Like he was in a room by himself playing it. We didn't know what really happened. He ended up having a breakdown and had to drop out of school.
Really?
We had a couple other people that things happened to, and at a point, like they just started throwing all the Ouija boards away. Like my freshman year, people were freaking out over them and stuff. So I don't know. I've never had too much of an episode on it, and you're always like thinking, someone else is pushing it or whatever for the most part, but like,
I know that's a game, but I also kind of feel like it's kind of weird. I do believe kind of in that like.
Yeah,
spirit ghost type thing or whatever, just because I've heard, and even like my mom's experienced that stuff when growing up, like when her and my dad were, I think they might have been dating or maybe they were already married, but just real young then, and I heard a lot of stories and just stories from people through the past that have had too many. I was like, there's too much shit. There's like nobody's making all this up to not something be there. I haven't totally experienced it myself, but I think a lot of that's true. But the Ouija board, I think, I know it's like Milton Bradley or whatever, so it is a board game, but I think it is an avenue, the spirit type thing to come through. Like I ain't fucking with that. I ain't doing that. I'm not playing. I don't care if it's a game or not. I ain't even gonna attempt to try it.
Well, I
don't want to turn my lights on and off and the TV go flying across the room or something. Like the hell with that.
I remember back in the day, Procter and Gamble was seen as one of their symbols. Everybody was saying was 666 and the sign of the beast back in the 80s. And Procter and Gamble, people were like freaking out over them on stuff. And it's like, you don't know sometimes about some of that supernatural stuff. It's just kind of like, you say, well, it's this and that. But then it's like, do you really know everything that's kind of out there? It's funny. There's like freshman year, we had a movie theater there at WVU. And we saw Prince of Darkness when it came out, which they showed at our theater, which was actually this old Donald Pleasance, horror type movie back in the 80s. And it was weird, but they go to the other side, like the devil or the spirit would come through the mirror. So all the dorms had like a full-size mirror in your room. And that movie like freaked out. Like people were like freaking out, trying to go sleep with that mirror there. Like it really caught a lot of people's attention. I don't know if you ever saw The Prince of Darkness, but
it's been a long time, yeah.
But back in the day, it freaked out a lot of people. It was kind of like an exorcist type thing that our parents went through. So
yeah. Have you ever seen the movie The Ring?
Yes. I saw The Ring. The Ring didn't freak me out too much, though. I think maybe because I knew it was just like PG-13 or so. It just you're like, how far?
But the girl how she crawls out of the TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you seen those? Have you seen those videos where they set it up in like a Circuit City? Well, like it used to be Circuit City or whatever, or like a Best Buy or something in their TV store, and they have they have one on the ground that's a fake like TV. The screen looks black, but they got the girl that's dressed up like that, and people are coming through looking at TVs, and she comes crawling out of the TV like in the movie, and freaks them the hell out, and they can take off running. It's hilarious. They're funny. You've never seen one.
I haven't seen one, but there was a prank show that was done. I think it was done in South America. Facebook used to have a lot of their videos on a couple years ago that I saw, and they would do pranks, and one of them was like you're on the elevator. And they would flash the lights, and all of a sudden, like an elevator with you, freak people out. And they did one. It was overseas or whatever, and it was kind of like it wasn't Jason, but it was like one of the horror characters were running down the street after people. Oh, little Chucky. It was Child's Play. There was a Child's Play poster there, and he would break through the poster, chasing people. And this one guy like pushed his girlfriend to the Chucky while he ran away. Like he sacrificed her. I don't think that relationship lasted too long.
Probably not. Yeah, it was probably over at that moment.
Speaking of sacrifice, there was a video I watched earlier this week. It was, I don't know if it was down in Florida or Louisiana. No, I think it was overseas, actually in Australia. It was a crocodile. A crocodile crawled into a fence where this couple was in the pool. And the crocodile came through and got in the pool. The guy jumped out of the pool and left the girl in the pool. Ended up getting her out, but she got scratched up and nicked because the gator did get her a couple times there.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, like, you wasn't just grab your stuff and go. Like, you're
That's
done.
Right. Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, forget about it.
Maybe I can find that and share that on here later.
I wonder if anybody, of course, obviously nobody here would know, but like, wonder if they're still together.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm kind of thinking like, yeah, that's kind of hard to come down and I thought you were behind me like that. He went that way and she was still there.
He's like, yeah, why didn't you follow? I don't know. I thought you knew.
Yeah. Yeah, Vanessa was talking about, we were talking about the travel. She can't even travel to head down anywhere. And when I was a kid, candy did not exist. I'm trying to think what's candy didn't exist there. Next wafers were okay. So it is the wafers. That's what I'm thinking of. And she said they were nasty too. Candy corns are laid by those Peeps. Yeah, I was never a Peeps fan either. Like people would get the Peeps, and I'm like, I wasn't that. And then when it came out with like the Reese's egg, it was over. Just once you get the Reese's egg, you didn't need anything else.
You know, the weird thing is that, and I think maybe even the Christmas tree ones they do, they're way bigger than the normal Reese's cup. Like, why don't they make a regular Reese's cup that big?
Well, they kick an uptick in the price for them too. So,
well, that is true, yeah. Because the eggs, you just got like one in a pack. So, I mean, that is true.
Yeah. Gilbert said, "I'm going trick or treating as COVID, or is it?" I bet somebody does go as a COVID, like one of the germ type things. Christmas candy. Well, Christmas candy, I can't Christmas. I mean, you got the candy canes, but they do have the Christmas kisses, which are pretty good. The Hershey Kisses and the different flavors they do around Christmas time aren't bad.
You know, I'd like to see. I'm a big M&M peanut M&M. I like those a lot. I wish M&M would come out with like a variety bag, because you know they make so many different types of M&Ms now. Like, why don't they have one big like variety bag where they're just all mixed in together, kind of like a surprise type thing? Like, they should do that.
Yeah. Well, Vanessa's
like a regular M&M, you know, the peanut or the peanut butter ones, and now they got the caramel ones or whatever, and just put them all in there.
Yeah, Vanessa's been talking a while about the fudge brownie M&Ms, which I haven't had either. They have the fudge
I haven't
brownie.
had that one either. I have to look for them. I don't know.
Yeah, variety bag would be nice. I've never had Truly's hard seltzer. Not really the seltzer kind of guy. Occasionally, I mean, outside of the ones that we had that time at Braxton, I've really hadn't had seltzer since then.
Me either. Actually, I haven't had one since then.
Yeah. Oh, I take it back. The wife left a White Claw in the fridge one time, and I actually used it with tequila. I believe I put in it, either tequila or gin. I can't remember which one I used, but yeah, it was a mixer. It wasn't just as a seltzer. It was mixed into it. Marston's Lancaster British Amber and a King's Barn single malt. All right, so I think Eric is done with the dishes and making his lunch. Great.
It's on.
Have to be a sort of Cracker Barrel now. The 1 pound ones, I think. Oh wow, yeah, I saw the 1 pound ones out there before. Cracker Barrel, at least now in Tennessee, some of them have alcohol. So they have beer and they have, I don't think they have wine. I think they have mimosas maybe. But yeah, so Cracker Barrel actually brought alcohol into some of their restaurants. I know Tennessee was one of the first states to do it thus far, which is interesting. I think about going down to Cracker Barrel and getting a little slosh. That's, little eggs, ham, and mimosas, Be
like, you're going to get you some biscuits and gravy? Hell no, I'm going to get me a beer.
It's a lot of grandma.
Glass of wine. That's what you go to Cracker Barrel for.
Make
that better, though, is if you could sit outside in the rocking chairs and drink them.
Oh yeah, if you could sit out there, because you got like a 40-minute wait sometimes. So yeah, that'd be nice. Mega M&Ms are awesome, yet they don't have them out yet. I haven't seen the Mega M&Ms. And Vanessa, the fudge brownies are a must buy.
I'm about to look for those.
Those are like a fart that won't come out. That's pretty funny.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I haven't found really a need for the seltzer to actually kick back and try those. But let me see here. So here's something that's happening as we roll into some of the beer news, right? And you know this little place. A gummy shark beer. And it's funny, Vanessa, you're here because we talked about like a gummy and putting a beer into it. But they're making a gummy shark beer at Listerman's. It'll be a New England IPA with Michigan Copper, Centennial, and El Dorado hops. And over 300 pounds of gummy sharks.
Oh, wow.
Of it. So that'll be one coming out that have to keep an eye out for that one to see about maybe getting that and tasting that.
If anybody make it good, they could make it good. Make it work.
That can be pretty interesting to actually check out. So
that would be interesting.
I'll have to let you know if I see that when it comes out and everything too, or if your brother runs into it. But I'm looking forward to seeing that. I got to get one of the Shamrock beers when they come out next time as well, which I think will probably be around St. Patty's Day. So I got a few months.
Yeah. I think that's usually. I feel like they come out like at the very first part of March.
Yeah,
maybe late February.
It's like at this time,
definitely that time frame though. I think they did a barrel age one this year.
I think they did earlier, yeah. But at this point, I think like their Chacal's like the big thing they'll be doing for the winter. They got the different Chacal variations they'll do.
You know, the one thing I don't think they make anymore that I don't think they do anyway is the Cincinnatus, the stout. Have you ever had one of those?
I've heard of that one. Do you remember what was in the Cincinnatus?
No, I think it was maybe just like your normal kind of maybe cocoa nibs or something. It wasn't. I think they may have made a couple of variants, but there for a while, my brother was. I think I still have some downstairs. Like I'd have him get one for me every year and bring it. It seemed like it comes out around Thanksgiving time, or it used to. But I don't think they've had it for the last 2 years. I think I've got a 15. Let's see. No, I think I got 15, 16, 17, and 18. I got one of each downstairs. He was able to get them. He was able to get me a 4-pack. They were selling them that way. Obviously, like I think it was 2018, I guess, with the new version. So I had him. So he's like, "Yeah, I got these for you." Also, of course, they were a little bit more expensive because you're buying, 3 or 4 year old beers that's already being aged. But I think it's just your basic kind of stout. I don't think it was anything special to it. But man, they're good though.
They may still do it just at certain years, or maybe take off a couple years now before they make another one. But
maybe, but let's have just missed out on it. But I don't remember them having it for the last 2 years. Well, last year anyway. It'd be 19 last year. So this year I don't know for sure.
To see if I see it or hear about it.
Yeah, or I'll likewise, if I hear about it, I'll let you know too. But it's definitely, to me, it's worth picking up. I'm thinking it's like 10 or 12% or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, there's not many beers from Listerman that aren't worth picking up. So
that's for sure. That's true.
Yeah, was what they're doing. Thoughts on Hennessy? Actually, I've never had Hennessy, so. All the times I've seen you actually drank it. Browsing kegerators at the moment. There you go. I think you already built your keg. I guess you could say whatever to put the keg in for the kegerator to go into. Let me see here.
A nesting place for the dragon's milk.
Exactly. 1 year, 1983, near Christmas time in Alaska, I had to put the interest-free shipment of gummy products out. Germany, a medical hold that raised a huge ruckus with people being pissed. I stopped their sales that year. You shut down the gummies, man. People were upset. That's what was doing the food stuff back then. But I've never had the local nut rum. Have you had that one? The coconut?
Was it a beer? Are you talking about a beer or?
No, I mean it's a rum. Nut, yeah.
I mean, I've had coconut rums, but I've not had the loco nut. No.
I mean, the rum I had was in Jamaica. That was all mixed into stuff already. So that's all the rum they had. Chad's having hot dog night. Can't beat a good hot dog once in a while. So, Chad, do you put ketchup on a hot dog? Are you one of those people that, I put ketchup on a hot dog once in a while.
I do too. Well, I do most of the time.
Some people are like, no ketchup on a hot dog. That's sacrilege. They're like, go eat your own damn hot dog. I like to get a hot dog with like chili, like good chili, like chili with beans and stuff, some onion. Sometimes I put a jalapeno on there. Depends how I'm feeling. Sometimes I put cheese on there, make like my own coney type style. But
You
Once
know,
in a while.
a good way to make a
Mhm.
hot dog. Do you have an air fryer?
Mm-hmm.
Cook them in your air fryer.
See, I haven't done that yet. You probably get a nice crisp on it when it cracks.
Oh yeah, they get. Oh yeah. To me, they almost taste like they've been grilled. But if you put them in there, like I like them, not to the point where they're burnt, but you get nice black kind of crustiness to them. Our daughter does too. She likes them that way too. Like I like to leave them on extra long on the grill, almost like you're roasting marshmallows. I like to get them almost burnt where you have to blow the fire out. With the same with hot dogs. But if you got a good, a nice air fryer, put them in there and it'll do the same effect, and they're really good.
Like 4 minutes or something, or
Yeah, it's
it'll take
not long. 4 to 6 minutes, something like that. Just check it and see. I just kind of throw them in there and just check on them, and then once they start turning blackish a little bit, or not so much really charred, but get that nice black kind of crunchiness to them, then it was like pull them out.
Yeah,
and they're really good. I think they're really good. So yeah, try that. If you got an air fryer, try that. Put a hot dog in them.
You put coleslaw on your hot dogs?
Nah, I'm not a big fan of coleslaw.
Oh well, coleslaw can be good on a hot dog there, but you gotta like coleslaw. But like you get some of the sweet slaw and put on there with mustard. West Virginia is where I learned they put coleslaw on hot dogs, and it's pretty tasty. I mean, it's just one of those other toppings, like Chicago, they'll put a dill pickle on the hot dog.
Yeah.
It's like
I think they also do like a sport pepper or something like that, like a pepper or something on their hot dog.
Chicago style,
the actual Chicago style or something.
Yeah, you order a hot dog in Chicago, that's for ketchup. Then it's like you get the side eye from everybody. It's just like.
But then I think they also use like a poppy seed bun or some kind of special bun or something too, don't they?
Like a Italian sausage type bun or whatever. I mean, it's like a feast on the hot dogs they make there, which I understand in Chicago. I mean, when that cold weather hits, you got to be thick to absorb it. So
you got to be thick.
They bulk up for the winter. Since we have those small fridges, I will convert into kegerators. There you go. And Vanessa has not tried the coconut rum yet. Yeah, I haven't had any coconut rum. I guess Malibu is a coconut rum.
That's what I was going to say. That's the only one I've had, I think.
Yeah. Vanessa says, I currently have quarter-pound hot dogs in the fridge. I'm slowly working through pack. Good size hot dog. Yeah. It's like a beginner compared to you, Salou. And we all learn. There's no beginners. I mean, there's beginners starting out, I guess, but there's like no experts. Everybody's just kind of having fun and drinking some beers and enjoying the trip as we go. Appreciate that there, Dollar. Do I pair food with beer? I do when I'm out, usually. If I'm out somewhere, I'll think of what I'm going to order and then what kind of beer I want to go with it. I don't know if you pair up that way as well, Todd, or you kind of just.
I do. Yeah, I do sometimes. Depends on the beer selection. Sometimes you go to restaurants and there's not much to choose from anyway, so you're just kind of limited. But some of the decent, like Buckhead type places that we went to in Cincinnati, has a nice beer selection. Well, I like the one here locally here is the same way. Nice beer selection, whatever. So you can choose. Yeah, I do like to try to do that for sure. And it does make a difference too. I mean,
yeah,
you can definitely get a beer that doesn't pair well with depending what you're eating. Like a spicy food or something, you don't want to drink a stout or something with a spicy food or I wouldn't, to me anyway.
Like an IPA is usually good with that.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like actually Buckhead. Last time I've been there is when we all went that night. So, but
same here. And that was the first time I'd been there for a while.
Good food there, yeah. Big old mugs of beer too. Let me see. Ever deep fry the hot dog directly? You have a hot dog stand here that had a grading system for doneness. Number 5 was called cremated. So was it a 5 scale or was it a 10? Because I'm wondering what you get after it's cremated.
I've never truly deep fried, like in grease deep fried.
Yeah.
I've done the air fryer, but I have actually deep fried bacon before.
That's not a bad idea. I'm not.
And it was actually really good. It was really good.
So when you deep fry,
especially if you like crispy bacon, especially.
when you deep fried the bacon, did you cook it first, or did you like just flour?
No, we just
Deep fryer, or how did you do it?
Just took it out of the package and dropped them in. You slice at a time.
Oh, so you were drunk.
Pretty much. So this was back in our old house in our old neighborhood. We one night we just like, like the big fish fryer, deep fryers or whatever they are, crawfish boils or whatever type deep fryers. So we just lit the thing up, and we were anything you could bring. Like everybody just like bring something out of your freezer, whatever, corn dogs, whatever. We're just gonna throw it in there. And then I don't know. Towards the end, we're like, let's just try bacon. Like what? Deep fried bacon? Yeah. Okay, why not? So we just started ripping it open, just dropping slices down in there. Like it might be the best bacon I've ever had. I mean, you're cooking it in grease anyway. It's just not its own grease, right?
Yeah.
So we had all kinds of zucchini, like fried zucchini, and it was all kinds of silly shit. Okra, mushrooms. We were deep frying it all.
Yeah, there's a restaurant in New York. I can't think of the name of it. I've seen it on one of the food travel channels, but they're known for deep frying anything. So it's like you go in there, you tell them what you want, you tell them to deep fry, they'll deep fry. The only thing they ever said they had trouble with, they tried to deep fry Skittles one time for something, and that didn't go over very well. But they deep fry all kinds of stuff there, and I'm watching them. I'm like, man, I'm not opposed to trying that, So
you would think Skittles would just melt, like there wouldn't even be anything left of it.
Yeah, they kind of I think they said it fell apart or something, but it was like they said that's the one thing that was like the most horrible thing that we ever tried to deep fry.
That would make sense, though.
Yeah, but Gilbert's not a fan of ketchup. He's like horrible stuff for sure. Which is funny. I was watching the History Channel last week, and it was about there's a series called "The Food That Built America" or "The Foods That Built America." And I was watching the one, and it was about Heinz, and it was about like Post and Kellogg, and when they were upcoming and stuff, they were all coming up around that same time, and basically how Heinz had pretty much failed on everything he had tried or whatever, but he ended up getting the idea for the ketchup from the catsup that came over from overseas, how they had to put stuff on meat because meat at that time would go bad so quickly or would have a sour taste to it. You had to put something on it for the flavor. And he kept experimenting, came up with coming up with the tomato form of the ketchup and stuff. And it was like the first condiment ever launched in America, and kind of led to other stuff coming out. But it was kind of an interesting type thing to see how they came up with it. And like Kellogg, there were two brothers that made Kellogg cereals, and it started out as food like in an asylum, where the one brother had it there and they were treating like kind of as a medicine type thing when they were making like some of the flakes and stuff. And the one brother wanted to capitalize on it, but he was like, no, because the one was a doctor, and he was like, he couldn't do that. He felt like it was going against his oath to take care of people. One of their patients ended up being C.W. Post, who actually, launched Post later on, Raisin Bran, all that kind of stuff, who actually came in and saw what they were doing and stole the idea from them, and then launched his, which then led to Kellogg having to launch theirs to battle back or whatever. Then the Kellogg brothers split. It's an interesting type thing of how the food did more like in the economy and building through America and stuff. We always hear about Carnegie, you hear about Morgan, all these other, industrial type leaders. But on the food front, I mean, these guys were pretty huge too. And they were like just coming from spots you didn't expect them to come from, and how it created everything here. Coleslaw and stuffed bison burgers with yum. I never thought about that. That could be something.
Stuffed with what?
Blue cheese.
Stuffed bison burgers. What do you stuff it? Yeah.
You see like stuff on with blue cheese. With blue cheese and a bison burger is freaking awesome.
Or some bacon.
Speaking of stuff, I'm about to stuff myself with this beer here. Todd's gonna know. So this Braxton Grader's key lime pie that they teamed up with on ale brewed with vanilla beans, cinnamon, lactose, and key lime zest. So every year,
is that the new one for this year?
It was in just the end of the summer, Now they got the
Okay.
pumpkin one in the fall. They teamed up with Graders for the
Ooh.
pumpkin one too. So that's out now. Just a 4.5% ABV. And decided to pick this up again. This one,
$2.99.
Kroger, $9.99 or whatever. Jungle Gyms, it was $3.99.
Oh.
Gotta love Jungle
$2.99, $3.99. I love Jungle Gyms. I wish it wasn't so damn far away.
Oh, you get a nice pop out of there too from the lime.
Is this the first one you've had?
Yeah, it's the first one I've done with these guys.
See, I never did see that one here. We've gotten all the other ones in the past, like the black cherry chip, the black chip or cherry chip, whatever that was called, and the other ones.
For good clarity, the head's going to dissolve pretty quickly as expected.
Looks like just a regular lager.
Be nice on a hot day for sure. Definitely get a nice pop of the lime in there. Nice sweetness to it.
So I don't know if I'd like that one or not.
It's got a Goza feel to it, but it's not as much as salty in the back end, but you do have a little bit in play there. You get that cinnamon definitely in touch with that. A little bit of that vanilla. It actually lays on the tongue nicely, and the flavor really envelops the mouth.
Is the lime overpowering or no?
Not overpowering, but again, a key lime pie, it's got that key lime type feel to it. So it's kind of like the pie. It's not overly done where it's not like the filling or anything like that. It's just a nice feel of kind of like a key lime flavor. A little bit of a funkiness on the nose with the feel of it seems, but I think it's just everything coming together with the lime and the cinnamon. It's a unique type aroma. But as far as the taste wise, it's like a light lemon lime type soda or something almost. Carbonation's down on it, so it's not too overcarbonated. But if you like key lime, you'd probably be all right with it. This would be great if you're like cutting the grass and you got done on a hot day. Or, I don't know, you went for a run or something, you wanted a beer at the end. Just comes through nicely.
I'd definitely be interested in the pumpkin one when it comes out. It is out now?
Yeah, it's out now. And earlier you had the blackberry chip earlier in the year, which I know you saw that one, I think. Yeah. So
I've had that one.
That one is done with Graders. And I don't know. I've only picked up one pumpkin beer thus far. That might be one I pick up at some point. Just you never know. Sometimes when they team up with Graders, they have some good stuff that comes out from them. Sometimes it's like, but sometimes it's good. So,
got to think that would be good though. The pumpkin one, for some reason.
Yeah. Well, Braxton doesn't make very bad beers, by the way.
That's true. That's true.
Chili cheese dogs, anyone? Do you like chili cheese dogs?
Yes, please.
And I went to visit a place called Doggies that sells 2-foot-long hot dogs just south of me. That's a good
2 foot?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
EB's in the house. What is going on? Cheers, my friend.
What's up, Alan?
He didn't play Call of Duty again, so mine play Call of Duty like all week. Beer batter corn dogs. Maybe I should try them that way. Wouldn't that be a corn dog though? It's just beer batter.
Just with beer in them, yeah.
Just with beer, yeah. Deep fried green tomatoes. I do like occasionally fried green tomatoes. If it's got the right sauce to go with it, I can eat a few of those.
Shannon loves fried tomatoes, green tomatoes.
Also, Natty Daddy. Natty Daddy. I've actually got a review on the channel with Natty Daddy, but I got no problem with Natty Daddy. I take it as what it is. So, you're not looking to match it up at a high bar, but as a lager you can get with more of a kick to it, and it's going to be malty, it's going to be grainy. It's all right. It delivers. I mean,
for a big, massive can that you can buy them in for $1.99 or whatever it is, I think it's a good deal for those. For what it is.
Yeah, some nights
they're not terrible. They're not terrible.
No. I think like a lot of people will slam them, and like you'll see people on Untapped it's like 0.75 or 1. It's like, dude, it's not like if you're like a craft beer drinker, it's not like you're going to rate the same way you would rate craft beer or something. Now, I mean, this is just purely let's just kick back, have a shit face time, and enjoy and relax.
Right.
Whatever you want to do. Like I used to play softball, and I would drink Natty Daddies while playing softball and stuff. It's just one of those things that's an easy beer that you can actually drink, and if you end up not drinking it, you don't care because it didn't cost you that much.
Right.
So,
yeah, it wasn't like you're dumping Bourbon County or something if you didn't drink it or something,
Exactly. He's drinking Truly Seltzer 24-pack. Cheers. That's why you were asking about the Truly Seltzer then. All right. And like I said, I'm not going to knock them because I haven't had Truly Seltzer. And as much as I don't usually drink like any of the seltzers, like I said, I had the one a few weeks back with her because my wife had one in the house and I just put it with like a liquor. And Todd attests, when we went to one of our stores here, Braxton, who I'm drinking their beer now, they had a line of seltzers, and we all thought they were pretty decent seltzers. So it just matters at the time,
Yeah, that seltzer that Braxton made was probably the best seltzer I've had.
Yeah, and all the different flavors.
Yeah. For that style, and like you said, you got to rate it on kind of on the style for what it is.
Yeah. Or really,
if you're a big IPA guy and you're going to drink a seltzer, you'd be like, this sucks. So you might get the 0.25 or 0.75 or whatever, but that's not what it is. So it's not what, like you were saying.
Yeah. And even on Untapped, it's like I rate stuff for the way I feel about the beer itself more than so just the style, just because I'm not even kind of keeping track of that really. Just like, if I thought it was excellent or very good or average, whatever it may be. So,
and that's really all I use Untapped for myself. More so is because you drink so many different brands of beers and styles and types or whatever. I personally can't remember if I've had a year later if I've had it or not. Sometimes, unless it just sticks out. Like, that was a great beer. I remember that when I had that one again. But I can't remember it from 2 months ago. Like, what'd you have? Did I have that one before? Maybe. I bought some like Prairies before, thinking I've never had it before. I bought it at the liquor store, got it home, crack it open. I was like, this is good. Go check it in. It's like, shit, I've already had this one. I didn't even remember. Like, I was like, okay, it was good. Which I'm glad I bought another one. Of course, for Prairie, you're paying $10 a bottle for them, but they're always, most of them are always, to me, kind of. I'd say worth it, but they're solid, great. I think they're great.
Yeah.
But so I kind of use that. So, a rating, I kind of rate it for myself. I don't care, if somebody else looks at it and be like, you only gave it a 3, so it's not good. Doesn't mean it's not good. It just didn't hit my spot or hit my palate for that time or whatever.
Yeah.
And I kind of more or less use it just to be like, do I want to buy it again or not,
Mm-hmm.
Or one, just have I had it before? If I've had it before, then I'll pass on it and go to something else, unless it was a good price, unless it's a Rajay deal or something and can't turn it down. But
well, twist my arm.
Right. But you're getting $1.99 Spanish stouts for $1.99 a piece. Then have I had it before? Yes. Well, I'll drink it again. Yes. Give me 10 more of them, or however many you got.
If I can get those stouts again, that was one of the better things I think I ever got, because that easily was like a $6-7.99 beer. I mean, it was really good for what we got there. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you put those up with a Prairie for $9.99 a bottle, which is what they sell all those for, is $9.99 a bottle. It's like, hell yeah, those things are so good.
Yeah. Again, that was like around Christmas time when I got that the first time. So,
well, if you're ever find for $1.99 and you feel like you're like a couple dollars short, I'll throw in for them.
I'm just gonna get the whole table.
I'll help you out.
I'm gonna pick up the table and put it in the cart.
Not that far away. I'll drive and pick them up.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like one of my friends up here. He went into Kroger one time and he mislabeled one of the or mispriced, I should say, one of the Pappy whiskeys. They had them for like $47 a bottle, and there was like 4 or 5 bottles there. He said, and he didn't know for sure. So he went up to the register and asked, and they're like, she ran a price check, and it's like, yeah, $47. So he called his buddy on the phone, like, hey, I got Pappy's here for $47. What do you think I should do? There's like 5 bottles here. He's like, buy them all. Buy them all. We'll worry about it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like, that wouldn't even be you make all your money back on 1 bottle and then some.
Oh, yeah. So that was like a Kroger mistake they had there when he picked them up.
I bet that person didn't even have a job the next day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? In the corporate world, things can easily slip through and people never catch them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like someone mispriced.
Like, I mean, it wasn't her fault because she probably didn't know any different. But
yeah, they just write it. It's like I don't drink Founders for obvious reasons, but the other day I was in a store and they had the Founders. Somebody put individuals in to make your own 6-pack for $9.99. Literally, if you made a 6-pack of all the Founders, you're already ahead.
Right.
Yeah, so I looked at it, I was like, well, if I drank Founders, I would definitely scoop those up right now. But since I'm not, I just walked on by. So,
like, backward bastard, KBS. Yeah, just start throwing them all the big hitters in there. Okay.
Oh, man.
$9.99 here. Let me go back and get some more. Hang on just a second.
I do agree, dog. I do like a good chili cheese dog. The batter uses beer is all still a corn dog. All right. Well, I guess technically for the corn dog, you have to have it on the stick. So if you deep fry it, you don't put it on the stick, you just put it on the bun. Is it still a corn dog or is it not a corn dog now because there's no stick holding it?
Well, buy those like mini corn dogs. There's no stick.
Yeah, there's no stick there. So I guess it is still maybe a corn dog then. You do it in the house. What is going on, my friend? Cheers. Hopefully things are going well for you out there at NJ. Wait, you got to talk about beer? You're just trying to justify using head in a sense. We can always try. Always try. Nice head is a must, LOL. Cheers.
No argument there.
No argument. Dollars out from the hood. 90 days are hood gold. Yeah, they're pretty popular there in the hood for sure. But yeah, I've grown up and had those beers as well. Virtual hug. Oh, hey there, Chad Dollar, Vanessa Clutchers, and hello. Left Vanessa there. Do you know you have the join button for memberships? Yeah, actually I do. I got I don't know how it happened. It's funny, guys. The Collective Beers who's here, we were talking one day, and somehow they approved me for the memberships. I think it was maybe like a month and a half ago. So I got approved for the memberships, was just shortly after I got approved for the applause button. So the applause button shows up on videos. If people like a video, they can do the applause, and that actually works as well. So I'm pretty psyched that they got that, and I'm just honored to be able to get that. As you do it said, congrats, and that's huge. I appreciate that because you do it. It's got a great channel, does a lot of good stuff there. If you guys haven't checked him out, make sure you check him out as well. And yeah, it was a nice thing to actually see that. I love y'all bougie as fuck. Yeah. Oh. Don't worry, we can get ratchet at times, but yeah. So you catch us on the right stream with the right people, it gets crazy.
You need to tune in when Shannon's here, then it'd be really bougie.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that Shannon, well, tonight you got people at the house, but she usually says, I don't want to join because I'll get too drunk. Like,
I think she probably would have been on for sure tonight if it wasn't for that.
Yeah. The feline above. Yeah. So the memberships, that's in all the buttons there now. So, and I set up some stuff if people do want to become a member, support the channel. There's different things that I'm doing with that as well. There's in the description, you can click on the link and it takes you into it also, or you can hit the membership button, I guess. But yeah, it's just some different stuff that I'm fortunate to be able to get, and different things I'm trying. Blake's in the house. Cheers, Rajay, and everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Blake. Blake was rocking out earlier on his Blake? They had a Thursday night live. I was over there a little bit before we did our show, and always good to have you, brother. And tomorrow he gets crazy with the Friday night. Throwdown at 9 o'clock Eastern on his channel. So y'all make sure to check out Blake. And Dollar Beer, you want to see us have some fun. Blake TV, get his channel, because on Friday night is where we really get a little ratchet.
I'm about to join that on a Friday night. Can't tomorrow, but I'm about to join that on a Friday.
Blake always says, "Why is this happening on my channel?" Like, we all feel like we take Blake's channel all the time. So that's where we get a little crazy. And I always appreciate.
He wouldn't have it any other way, I don't think.
No, exactly, right? Cheers, guys. Having some Three Nations, Shannon, Silo, Hefeweizen, pretty good stuff. Very nice, and good to see you there, Joe. Welcome to the channel. And I've actually been to that brewery down in Texas, right? Is that Three Nations, I believe, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Actually, I believe it is. That's one to double check. I believe that's one I actually did maybe on location from their brewery as well here on the channel. Let me take a look here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Out in Texas, yeah, that's the one I was actually at. Real good guys that run that brewery. And I actually did a Shannon Silo. I think I did that review because I had that at the brewery. I ended up picking it up at like, what's that one they have that you have near you, Todd? The big beer store.
Total Wine.
Total Wine, yeah, it was a Total Wine down in Texas, and I ended up grabbing one there because I was reviewing. That is a very nice Hefeweizen for sure. Cheers and salute to that there. And thanks, Dollar Beer. Appreciate that as well, my friend. Again, I always going to do what I'm going to do on here. And, you know, I don't really out there hammering to ask people to kind of do that. I mean, if people want to do it and join those type of things and show support, you know, that's always fine. It's just, I want to keep giving you guys the best stuff out there as well. So I just don't want people to feel like obligated to do anything there. And there's also in the description is the link to the store. I know some of the people have gotten T-shirts. I'm like, why don't you just, if you're going to do something, get a T-shirt or like that, or a glass or something like that. That way you have something there as well. So Vanessa says hello to Blake. And do I ever taste non-alcoholic beer? I've thought about doing it. I just haven't done it as of yet. The Heineken one I can get here now. I was thinking about trying that one. I've had O'Doul's in the past. There's some other ones that are coming out now that I'm thinking about maybe doing like a non-alcoholic series. So stay tuned, Chad. That could definitely possibly happen here. Vanessa says, hashtag yell Jumanji as ball drops this year. Get out of 2020 to 2021. Dude, we can't have a 2021 like 2020. That has to be a better year, right?
It's got to be.
It's kind of funny this year, like having the Halloween right here, right before the election day. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy election day when that happens on November 3rd. I mean, you kind of prepare yourself. Like, we're not gonna know who's president for probably at least, I'm gonna say we're not gonna know that night. I'd say at the earliest, I feel like it's gonna be like maybe a week or something.
At least
might be like a month. I mean, it's gonna be just an interesting thing.
They're saying long. Be a long time.
But I mean, I remember in 2000 with W and all the stuff, they had to go to the Supreme Court back then and everything. So obviously it was a different time in the society, so to speak, back then to where it is now. But that whole thing was like frantic people trying to find out who won that, and the hanging chads, and the Supreme Court had to intervene, and people were complaining about Gore quitting too early. And I mean, it was just crazy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But we got beer, so that's what matters. So we'll drink our way through.
We've got beer.
Absinthe, I'm not a huge absinthe fan. I've had absinthe down in New Orleans at the bar. It's a local bar on Bourbon Street, and it basically is the absinthe bar. And, you know, they say you're not really in Bourbon Street until you have absinthe or whatever. Like, this one local bar. It's kind of cool. It's a bar where on the wall people like write stuff. So like you see stuff from notes from people all around the world that have been there and stuff like that. And you write something on there, but you experience the absinthe. And absinthe, I put it in the category of Ouzo and Jägermeister as not a fan of that flavor profile. Because again, it's like dark liquors type thing. And I'm not a big dark liquors fan at all. I mean, really, I'm no kind of dark liquors fan at all, unless I can get by if it's like in a barley wine or something. But What about you, Bottom or Dollar Beer? Are you absent fan? What about you, Todd? What do you think about it?
So we got some friends of ours that he made. I think he actually made some himself. I'm not sure how he did it, but they brought some over in like a little Listerine bottle or something. I actually still have some because they left it here, and like, no, you can just keep it. But it does have that licorice, black licorice type flavor. But isn't that stuff supposed to, or is that just like a story or whatever that's supposed to make you hallucinate or something?
The stuff we drink now doesn't really, but the old stuff did.
But it used to. Okay.
Yeah, the real absinthe made back in then, because you're dealing with a lot of stuff from basically
like wordworms or something like that, or something.
And people would hallucinate. They said when they would take it back then and stuff. So
I remember when my brother used to work. When he was here, he used to work when he was with his now ex-wife. Her family or something had something to do with the liquor store, like right down the street from us. So he'd work like Wednesday nights, just kind of help him out or whatever. So he'd just work like one night a week on Wednesdays. And he said they used to before he started, or maybe right when they started and they discontinued it, used to be able to get it there, but they quit doing it because it supposedly would make you hallucinate, and they outlawed it.
Yeah.
So you couldn't buy it in the liquor stores anymore. Yeah, I never had that one, but the kind that my buddy gave us, it's not bad. I mean, if you like that flavor, but it is very, like you said, licorice, black licorice type flavoring to it.
Yeah, because the true absinthe from back then, you can't make, I believe, still in any of the states here.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so the one that we have now, it's kind of a knockoff, kind of like the knockoff moonshines that we get, Old Smoky and all of that. Even though they can call it moonshine, it's not like the White Lightning that was the real moonshine. They like those still get shut down by law enforcement in different parts of the country. So it's kind of a more tamed version.
We went on vacation. Let's see, how long ago has it been now? At least 4 or 5 years ago or so. Me and Shannon, our daughter, my brother and his daughter and wife, I think my mom, my aunt, and a real good friend of mine and his wife. We all went to, Gulf Shore. No, not Gulf Shores. Went to Panama City Beach, Florida one year. Okay. And somebody he worked, I think it was somebody he worked with, or no, it was somebody in his wife's family was able to get some actual. You ever watch that show Moonshiners?
Yeah.
The old dude on there that you can't really, the old guy, Jim Tom, whatever his name was.
Yeah, he died though, right? The old guy, I believe.
I'm not sure. I don't know he may have now. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know if he did or not, but he brought a jar of moonshine that supposedly that this guy made, that Jim Tom guy made.
Oh wow, okay.
So he brought it he brought it on vacation. We all tried it. Of course, we poured some out on a bowl and lit it just to see. Of course, I think it flamed up, had a nice big blue flame going. So it was definitely alcohol content. It was definitely over 151 because I think 151 will catch fire. So it was definitely high potent stuff, and it was actually. For the high content of alcohol, it was actually pretty smooth. Like you really couldn't feel it. It was actually a good, not like you were saying, like your Old Smoky kind of, Budweiser type stuff of moonshine. Yeah. You get. It was good. It was good. Yeah. I mean, you could shake the bottle, and they always say the bubbles would dissipate really fast. A lot of them, and then they go away quick. And this thing did that. Yeah.
Yeah, you take that. You're like, okay, I'm gonna just sit back in this chair right now for a bit.
Now, did that Jim Tom guy really make it? We don't really know, but that's who he got it from, and her family. They claim that he did. So
yeah,
whoever made it, it was really good. There wasn't no denying that. It was good. Knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing with that show is like people always challenge if they were actually like why were they getting arrested? Like they were never making moonshine during the course of the show. which is how I guess they were able to get away with it or whatever. And I guess they made it in the off season when they weren't actually doing it. So the police never caught up with them because they were not on camera when they were doing it. So by the time they're doing it, they're kind of just retracing what they actually did previously type stuff. And then that was a big thing, I think, on how they got away with doing moonshiners.
Yeah.
But it didn't make the cops look any good because the cops could never catch them on anything.
Like Barney Fife type.
Yeah. It's like, why even have the cops here? They're not really making it right now. Like, you guys are just showing how you missed it last time. I mean, there's no benefit there. It was interesting how they did that. So people had questions about that show.
I like to watch it for the entertainment value. I always just like watching it.
Yeah. And Vanessa said vodka infused with shrooms. And I actually don't remember having shrooms. Apparently, one time in college I did. Like, my wife said we were dating. She said went to like McDonald's and put them on a Big Mac or something. Like, when we were back in college, I'm like, I don't recall that happening. But
so you must have, because you don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
She had end goals in that night.
Yeah. I told her, I said, you Bill Cosby is what you did.
That's right.
Prairie's $9 in Ontario. Yeah, here, depending on what you get, some like the Prairie Bomb, I think, is usually around 10 or 10.99 or something. But we get some Prairie. Like, I had one that was it wasn't a Goza, but it was a lighter type one from them. But it was like a fruitier type one, and it was like I got like for $4.99 or something, which really surprised me, like regular price. So you can
feel like, yeah, I feel like their non-stout stuff is cheaper for sure.
Yeah,
but like the barrel aged stuff in than a 12-ounce bottle, or whatever, they're usually anywhere from $9.99 to $10 or $11, $12.99.
Yeah. Yeah, most people go in for the stouts. That's where they make most of their dollars, I think, and they try the other stuff. But people love them for the stouts.
And to me, I mean, even though the price is what it is, they still, for me, they make some of the better stouts that you can have, I think, consistently anyway.
Dollar says, favorite beer? I actually don't have a favorite beer just because I drink so many of them. I mean, I can tell you favorite style, I'll say is Belgian. I like a lot of the quads and the triples. I mean, I'll do the doubles as well. I mean, but like Belgian style ales are probably my favorite style. But as far as a specific beer or drink, I don't have one. What about you, Todd?
No, not really. I mean, IPA and a stout for sure would be 1A, and they're really close, I could take either one of them at any time. But outside of that, not really. I'm kind of like you. I just kind of, I mean, there's so much stuff out there. Like, you want to just try. That's the good and the bad thing of craft beer. That's one thing that kind of drives Shannon nuts. She's like, I just want something I like and I can get. That's why she hates like 450 North Slushy. She's like, I don't want to try them because I like it. Then you're not going to get it again. Or you might have to wait for a year to get it again. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the craft beer scenes. Like, there's so much out there, you want to try it all just to see, because you never know, you might find that one thing that's great and you want to, buy more of it. But you don't know until you try, though. I mean, it's always so evolving too. Like, to me, like, Two Hearted Ale is still great, but years ago, like that was. And I mean, even now it still wins best beer of the year, whatever, however they judge that. But it's kind of, in a sense, kind of been passed up on different, types of styles. I mean, IPA is a category of itself where it's got 4 or 5 different types within that style. Your milkshake IPAs, your whatever sour IPAs. You got all kinds of different, double IPA. You just got so many different things. So for me, no, I mean, style-wise, IPA and stouts, yes, I'd probably gravitate towards more than anything else, but I kind of run the gamut. I pretty much like it all for the most part, except for shandies.
Yeah, Yeah, we're both in. Yeah.
And seltzers, I guess you could say too,
Yeah.
for the most part. Seltzers.
Well, Joe said moonshine is about as far as I go. Especially love moonshine pickles. I've had some of the moonshine pickles here. The moonshine pickles I have are the ones from Old Smoky. Not really sold on them. I mean, they're all right. And I like pickles. It just wasn't anything that kind of got me going. Yeah.
So is a pickled flavor moonshine? Is that what it was?
Yeah. So the pickles are in the moonshine. So you eat the pickles and you drink.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I don't like pickles. I'm not a fan of pickles, so I wouldn't like that at all.
I'm actually going to do a video on those here at some point. I don't know if I'm going to do it on this channel or if I'm going to put it on the food channel that I'm going to launch. I haven't decided yet, but I might put it on both actually because I can put them on both of them. The one who makes the copper stills. Yeah, it is the wormwood and absinthe that makes you see the wormwood comes into play there for the hallucinations. The moonshine with pickles or cranberries or blackberries is very tasty. Now I do like the cherry moonshine with the cherries in it. I like the apple pie moonshine. I haven't had the blackberry. I don't think. I think I had the cranberry, which was good as well. It's just the pickle thing didn't sell me as much on that one. Shroom tastes like takes on a trip.
It just doesn't sound appetizing.
It's a little different. It's kind of a little bit of for me, like a little bit of a funkiness with it too. But like Joe says, put them in a Bloody Mary. Way to go! You know, with everything you put into a Bloody Mary, why not put in moonshine pickles? I've seen some Bloody Marys where it's got like these jumbo shrimp and big old olives and all kinds of stuff, like roast beef or whatever. It's just like, might as well throw in some moonshine pickles. Chad said, I saw a special Moonshiners episode where it wasn't about making moonshine, it was about the ways that different teens had to escape from cops. One dad was teaching his son in the car how to peel out. Well, if it wasn't for moonshine, you wouldn't have NASCAR. So
true. There you go. It's the OG NASCAR.
Really prohibition, but moonshine grew out of that down south. But outrunning the police with the booze. We get the stouts like, fudge. Another moonshine, their brothers put a button on the steering where all oil would drip out of the trunk, stuff like that. So they like to this. Isn't it like from Spy Hunter? Like in Spy Hunter, you hit the button and the oil slick would be behind the car. And the other cars would go sliding off the road. That moonshiner played too many video games when he was young, I think. Miscellaneous in the house. Cheers. What is going on, my friend? Miscellaneous. And then we got that's a pickle from Moonshiner Yum. I like them. Very nice. And get fresh blackberries and fill the moonshine up. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Alex in the house. Cheers, Alex. What is going on, my friend? Good to see you.
Alex?
But yeah, so I got to actually, next week I'm going down to Lake Cumberland for a little bit. I might have to see what liquor stores on the way, but could easily come across moonshine on the way down there. Let's see. What was I going to put here? Oh, we were doing the beer news stuff. So Martin House Brewing Company in Fort Worth, Texas, was Joe, since you're in Texas. I don't know if you're in Texas because you had the Three Nations, but in Fort Worth, they decided to brew up a sour beer in the flavor of beloved Buffalo food item, the chicken wing. Yes, they are making a beer.
I've seen that too.
Chicken wing sauce in there. I don't know how to feel about that one. That's kind of like, why are we here? And like Todd sent me a thing earlier. There's a joke about the chunky IPA that's out there. And like, why are we throwing all these things out here towards beer nowadays? Like,
I was just going to ask you about that one. It's like, are you going to bring that one up?
I was
show the picture of it.
I don't even know if that chunky IPA is actually real, but this is. So now I'm thinking maybe it can be. I mean, because you ever thought about like wing sauce or something like that being used with the beer at this local brewery? The wings there is. It's like bad.
I saw that clam chowder one. I'm like, I like clam chowder. I don't think I want to drink it with actual chunks of clams in it, though.
Yeah.
That's what it said on the thing. Like it was made with actual like clams, like chunks of clams. I'm like, you gotta draw the line at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I've had oysters in beer because Flying Dog has a pearl necklace, and I've had oysters in that one.
Yeah, when you get your oyster spouts, I guess.
I know, like Dan up in Canada, he's had like I don't want to say bull nuts, but Rocky Mountain oysters in beer. But yeah, it's kind of like, where do you draw the line? Where do you stop? Where do you say we've gone too far to putting this stuff in the beer? Like, where does that end at for someone? So,
well, I know where it ends at, but I'm not going to bring it up. We've talked about it on the show before, so
it just gets too crazy.
Had to do with undergarments.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah, Alex, actually with this one, we just do this like the Thursday night show where me and Todd actually do this one. So not yet a panel show, but if I do a panel show, I'll let you know on that next one that we can get you and your friend up for sure. This one is kind of just us kind of breaking stuff down over the week on some different things. Let me see here. And then another interesting thing that happened this week, and see if Todd's back already. So, because this will be something that a lot of you guys that like the Bourbon County will probably want to know about. Bourbon County Beer is releasing migrants online due to COVID. So, for those of you that like to get the Bourbon County beer, the sign up begins tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
You have to go to the Bourbon County site, I believe, to sign up. And I don't know how they're doing it there yet. I just read the piece earlier. But this may be something going forward they're even saying. So it may not be going and hanging out at Black Friday trying to find your local store. But if you want Bourbon County this year, my recommendation is to go ahead to the website to check it out, to see about where it's going to be at and looking at picking it up so that you guys can get your hands on it this year. Let me see. I would say also maybe English as well if you want. Yeah, that might be something there as well, Alex, too. Who's that? The Hofbrauhaus. Is that what Shannon's drinking right now?
That's what she's brought me. Her brother actually left some here. It's actually a different bottle, though, than usual. Like the labeling on it.
That we have like up here in Cincinnati is a little bit different.
Yeah. He brought them over and he brought like 2 6-packs. One was like the original or the normal looking one, and this one was different. I was like, I've never even seen it. Like the neck on the bottle is even longer and skinnier. I don't know. It's weird.
I think it's actually like from Germany.
Well, it could be. That's what he was saying. He's like, I'm not sure. It might actually be from there.
Because our stuff here is usually the HB.
Trying to see what it says.
That looks like it actually came over. Well, it looks, I think it is, actually. Yeah, that label. Chad, you say a bloody beer. What do you mean by the bloody beer? I've actually had like Bloody Mary type beers before, which is pretty interesting. If that's from Germany, that's going to be legit, I'm pretty sure.
I've had one before when he brought them over, and this was just like a lone bottle. I was like, I'll drink it. I'm trying to can't tell where the lighting in here is not very good. I got like a couple light bulbs that are out, so the lighting's not very good, but I'm trying to see if it
it's based off the old German formula.
It looks like it is, but I can't say for sure. I'll have to look it up a little better when I got some better light.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell sometimes. I got a couple light bulbs that keep going in and out. I'm not sure if they're about ready to blow or what the deal is. But it'll get brighter and then it gets darker. So right now it's like two of them's out, but then they come back on. I'm not sure what's going on.
But speaking of overseas, this was interesting. So Heineken, they got fined overseas. UK regulators fined Heineken on their pub business as nearly 2.6 million for forcing British bars to sell unreasonable amounts of beer. So essentially, Heineken over in the UK was basically forcing bars that had Heineken to sell Heineken beer and not their competitors' beer. They had to sell a certain amount where they were going to pull Heineken from the bar, I guess. And so they were caught doing that, and they got fined $2.6 million. Which,
as they should.
Yeah. So, and this is kind of interesting because this is where people talk about craft versus macro, where sometimes you have enough of the taps, you can strong arm people. Otherwise, you're going to pull their main things. And it's good to see that they got caught on that.
It's pretty shitty, though, to do that. Like,
oh, definitely.
Heineken itself's like big enough. Do you really have to put like a tavern or whatever the case was, you know, like, oh, you got to sell so much we're pulling it. I'll just be like, come get it tomorrow. I don't want to sell any more of it anyway. And just come pick it up.
Yeah.
There's plenty more beer out there. I'm not going to have any trouble filling that spot. So just come pick it up.
Their Heineken over there is better than our Heineken over here from what I've been told or read. So they probably like the Heineken more.
Probably. Which I think is the case probably for all the stuff that we get here.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, here it would be like something like Budweiser, like that and everything. There's a lot of places that Bud's the main beer. So if Bud has the Bud tap and the Bud Light tap, and I don't know, I think Red Dog, whoever it may be, they have underneath of them there, and you try to get on Rheingeist or, you know, against the Grange like that and everything. They're like, hey, you need to sell this amount if you're going to be selling any of that. And they can strong arm people, you know.
Well, that's kind of the local guy that I know that owns the liquor store here, kind of with Goose Allen. He kind of ran into that with like Bourbon County.
Yeah.
They weren't wanting to give him.
You don't get them.
Yeah. They weren't wanting to give him any for or very small amount because he wasn't selling much of the other stuff, you know, throughout the year. And he said it depended on how much of the normal stuff you would sell is how much of the specialty stuff you would get.
Yeah.
So he was just like, you're not going to do that to me. So just come get all your Goose Allen shit. It ain't selling anyway. So just come and get it. I don't care if I get the Bourbon County or not.
Yeah.
So there for like 1 year or so, he didn't have Goose Allen at all. And now it's back and he does get the Bourbon County and stuff, whatever. So I don't know if they changed or he sells more of it, but I'm like, nobody's going to the liquor store and buying 312. You know what I mean? Or the wheat, the whatever, just any Goose Allen in general. Yeah. Like nobody's going to there to buy that. Like you can get that at Walmart or Kroger. Like why are you gonna go to the liquor store and pick it up?
IPA at the corner store now for like $1 or something for a tall.
Yeah. So it's like, so they may have changed or something. They're just like, okay, well, we'll just put it back in the market and we'll just give you your share of, Bourbon County or whatever, the specialty stuff,
Yeah.
So.
Elbow in the house. Cheers, my friend. What is going on?
What's up, Elbow?
See you, buddy. And you guys don't know Elbow 88. Check him out. Doing the beer, doing the music, and having a great time. Elbow would be kind of cool to party with him ever down in that Tampa area again. What's going on, Steven? Welcome. Cheers, my friend. I like the avatar with that little leaf. Have you ever visited Kenwood next to the skyline? I have not visited the root cellar. I'll have to keep an eye out for it. Usually when I'm up in Kenwood, Trader Joe's, like I mentioned, I went there just recently trying to get some stuff. I wanted to get a couple of the beers that I couldn't get. Was Todd was able to get where he's at. He got the peanut butter cup beer, and I was trying to get that in the butter cookie. But no, I didn't. I never heard of the root cellar up there. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Good stuff that they have there. And bloody beer, like spices. Okay, so that's what I was kind of thinking you were talking about. I wasn't fully sure. And I've had one from Shorts Brewing out of Michigan, and it's actually called Bloody Beer. And it was actually kind of tasty. I've never been a big like Bloody Mary type fan. I got into a little bit later. But if you do like that kind of stuff, I would say definitely check out the bloody beer from a Shorts Brewing if you get Shorts Brewing there. Well, I was surprised, and it was very nice. Let me see. Oh, Elbow was enjoying the Lagunitas Sucks. Odd name, but it's a good 8% IPA. Yeah, Lagunitas Sucks is a
Oh,
good.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. A lot of Lagunitas beers are actually pretty good. So, which reminds me, I need to reach out to them because I would like to get somebody from Lagunitas on here, like I did with Lord Hobo on Monday. See if I can find someone to come on from them. My buddy Kyle up there in Chicago at their brewery, he might be able to hook me into some people.
I still got you. I still got the one in line for you whenever you want to do it.
We're ready. Whenever we want to try to do it, if you could find when he wants to do it, we
I
can.
know he said he'd rather do it in person, but I think he's up for doing it on the line too. So
yeah, if you can do it in line, that'd be great. The one I did with Sizzle last night, he was actually at the brewery where we did it at. So just let me know. We'll definitely get him on here.
I saw the what brewery is he with? I saw the tanks behind him.
Well, he's actually, you know what? We didn't mention him. He's in Columbus, Ohio, but we didn't mention that one. I think he may have mentioned that one part during the show, but it was like we were kind of focused on him more than that because he's kind of like Gypsy brewing some of his beer there and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of good stuff going on. Those recipes he was talking about, I was getting so thirsty last night.
Yeah, some of them sound pretty killer for sure.
Yeah. Go to the liquor store for Everclear. Well, you got to do what you got to do, Gilbert. They have over 800 beers. And they have several cold case individual cans. Oh, wow. No, I keep a list on Google of spots around Cincinnati, so I will add them to that list for sure. Yeah, I mean, okay, we're going to be in a run-in against Jungle Gyms here. Maybe see what they got up in their area.
Now, who is that?
It's called the Root Cellar. Yeah, because your brother's up here too.
Okay.
It's in Kenwood. So
Kenwood. Now, where's that from?
It's on 71 exit 12. For me, it's about 30 minutes.
Oh, that ain't that was.
I mean, where I went to Trader Joe's, I was in Kenwood, so not too far from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's about that far for you to go to Jungle Jams too, though, isn't it?
It's about 30. Yeah, about 30
yeah.
to Jungle Jams, well, depending on the traffic. But I need to write this down, the Root Cellar. Thanks, Steven, for sharing that one.
Send that to me in a message, Rod, so I can remember.
Yeah. And good to have you on, being here local and everything too, Steven. Awesome. Yeah, so we'll definitely get that added to the list. I can always use more beer stores in the mix for sure. Let me see here. And then we had this here, which I always feel like when I see Eli Manning, I'm like, is he even old enough to drink? He still looks like that little kid or something. He was honored with the craft beer for New Jersey Hall of Fame weekend. So for Hall of Fame weekend, they're going to have a craft beer. But it's just, God, it's like, you just feel like you want to card him because he just looks like he's never grown up. So, they were talking about the next Manning on the way. He was like in high school, supposed to be better than Peyton or Eli.
Oh, yeah. Supposedly.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But, the other thing, like Thanksgiving, like if they get together in the family, like Peyton looking over to Eli, like, well, I guess he did time because Peyton has 2 rings right now because he did have 1 for a while, right? So he has 2.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Even it up. But even then, you're looking like, I couldn't get 1 more than you, like.
And then did Archie, Archie has
Archie
3, right? Or did he not win any at all?
He never won any because he was the Saints quarterback. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But then I think like Eli can respond back to him. Yeah, but I was able to beat the Patriots twice.
Right.
The Peyton's like past the cranberry sauce.
Give me the gravy.
Yeah. Oh, and then for those that go to Aldi and Brewdog are teaming up for a new beer. And it says after Twitter Row, which I think means fight overseas or something, because Brewdog, there was a beer Aldi launched off their Punk IPA from Brewdog, kind of as a generic type beer. And then they responded on Twitter talking about they were going to do something to Aldi because of that or whatever. And then Aldi said, well, you should have named this beer this other name. And so BrewDog named it that, and now they're making it. And then they're both sitting there selling it and splitting the proceeds there in Aldi. So it's kind of funny, but yeah, they got a beer coming out. So at Aldi, if you go to Aldi, you'll see a BrewDog beer, which actually, because it's Aldi, it probably save you a few dollars compared to what you usually pay for a BrewDog.
Which in the end is good to see them actually come together and
make
it work it out. Yeah.
That way. And then for the fans of the Firestone Walker, they have a chocolate cherry stout, which is interesting. That's coming out, but it was inspired by Bell's Brewery. And Bell's Brewery has a nice chocolate cherry stout. So I wonder if Larry Bell's like looking over his shoulder, like, did you guys get the recipe from somebody here or something? Like,
oddly familiar.
Yeah. But you don't ever see like breweries that much were inspired by another brewery to come out with something like that, you know?
Mm-mm.
And then the only other beer news one I had out there was a new beer from Karbach came out to benefit the service industry, which is a good thing with everything taking place, called Hot Luck Festival. It's a horseshoe Pilsner, 4.5% ABV, smooth, light body beer made to be the perfect palate cleanser for barbecue. Because we know in Texas, they love the barbecue, where Karbach is out of. So if you guys happen to see that, know that you are supporting a good cause of the service workers by purchasing that beer. So that was most of just about all the beer news stuff from this week. And there were a few other things, but I didn't have time to really get a lot of stuff together. But, you know, some of the stories happening around the beer world. There was a COVID road trip beer haul. And Eli's D beats the Pats. Yeah, I mean, you know, well, Eli did take him on a drive in the Super Bowl wins, and then Brady got stopped by the Pats, but Eli had to put him up. I think he had game-winning drives on both of those, if I remember correctly, essentially, because they had the one, the Tyree catch that kept him alive in the first one. They drove down, got the touchdown, and then there was that Plaxico Burress in the back corner in the second one, I believe. And then Brady got stopped by the defense when he came out, so...
Well, the one was the Beckham catch, wasn't it? The one-handed.
Oh, was Beckham the second one then? And then Burress was the touchdown after the Tyree catch in the first Super Bowl?
No, maybe you're talking about Plexico Burress?
Tyree had the helmet catch.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
But then when they scored, I think it was the Burress in the back corner that got the touchdown. The next one, the next Super Bowl, I think was Beckham, because Burress was off the team after the gun incident. So the next Super Bowl, I think, was when Beckham was there and got the fingertip catch, which is another great catch in the Super Bowl. I don't know if Beckham's been much since that point. Apparently, you know, he doesn't. People still love him, I guess, but you don't see him blowing up like he was back then. So, about it went to his head a little bit.
It's wild how like these sports guys hit the peak and then all of a sudden they just disappear.
Yeah.
Like Le'Veon Bell, who I think was signed by the Chiefs today.
Oh,
he got cut by the Jets, but I think the Chiefs picked him up today. But 2 years ago, he was like the best running back in all of football.
Antonio Brown.
And Brown the same way. Like these guys like hit, then all of a sudden it's like you just don't even hear from them no more. It's like how quickly the sports franchises move on from those guys.
Well, I mean, the Steelers were always a plug-and-play type team, so they always draft well.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of interesting. You had two superstars that pretty much were going, like, with no problem. It's kind of like Bell was on a rising star there, and Brown was already on top of the world. You have to wonder if there was something going on with how they felt with Tomlin or some of the other coaching, or I mean, wide receivers can be divas anyway. They always have attitudes, it seems.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was telling my cousin. I was telling him about that, and he was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, but you got to think if the Jets are cutting somebody, they're just not what they used to be as far as Bell goes, or they're just a big cancer in the clubhouse. Like you can't have guys that are just gonna tear your team apart. I don't care how good you are. Like it's gonna hurt you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Terrell Owens in the late years, like when Terrell Owens kind of flipped his lid or whatever and was doing sit-ups in his driveway and whatever. push-ups or whatever it was. You know,
Dude,
it's like you just can't have those guys on your team. Like I don't care how good they are. Like we're just gonna let you go.
Say what you want, but that sit-up show was like, my God,
that was
somewhere.
that was funny.
That dude was like cut.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Like he should be making videos of training, whatever, bodybuilding.
Yeah. He was one of those. It's funny. I was watching one of the sports shows, and they were talking about top receivers, and they were talking about Jerry Rice, and when he said like he didn't think Moss was number one, he thought Rice was one. No, he said he thought Rice was one, but he thought like Owens, I think, and then Moss, or he thought Moss and Rice and the person. It was like I think it was Skip and Shannon they were talking about. Anyway, it was kind of like the one guy that was a guest person was like I played against all of them. Like Rice didn't wear gloves. He didn't need gloves. He caught everything you threw his way. He didn't have gloves like Moss or like Terrell would have after a point.
Right.
It was like I say, I played with him. I played with Chris Carter, who didn't wear gloves, and it's just like, for him, it was Rice was easily the number one person, but then it was like Owens or Moss. Like he had Owens over Moss over Owens or Owens over Moss, and it's kind of like that's kind of an interesting thing there. I mean, those are two guys that should have been, you think, a Super Bowl win they should have had, but I mean, one person can't win the team in that position usually. But Terrell was there, Moss was there. And again, it was the Giants that beat Brady then. But that year that Moss and Brady were hooking up, like Brady threw 50 plus touchdowns that year. Moss had like I don't even know, like 40 of them or something.
I don't know, something stupid. Yeah, he had
stupid number. He set the record, I think. But it's just like, but he always got criticized for taking off plays. He was like, that's the thing. Like Rice, he played I think Rice is still the top receiver for me. That played. I mean, he was blocking, receiving, whatever you called on him to do, he was going to do it. And it wasn't like he took a break. And even when his later years, first one in, last one out, I mean, Rice was just a man.
And oddly enough, like football, you would think would be different than most sports. Like baseball, right? You have decades of certain, like, you had like the steroid era. Then you go back into the early 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. It's way different, than it is now. Like guys just get much faster. They're like a lot bigger, quicker, stronger, whatever. I mean, you got, offensive linemen that are 300 plus pounds running a 5 or whatever, 40-yard dash at 5 seconds or whatever, which is stupid for that big. You know what I mean? Like guys back in the, in the Steel Curtain era, those guys wasn't running no 5s. They were eating 4,000 pounds of hot dogs a week or something. Probably couldn't run a 10-second 40. You know what I mean? Like, but like football is just more of athletic like ability. Like it doesn't seem like it would change that much, but it seems like it has, though, in a sense. Of course, the rules have changed too. So like the quarterbacks, you can't hit, like you could back in Bradshaw and all those guys' eras. Joe Theismann and people like that, so I think that does kind of come into play in a sense too. So, but I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Rice is, for sure 1 or 2. It's probably still number 1, I would think.
It was just, you have the different eras of what you can do and what you couldn't do, and like they say, like if they track sacks back through the whole time, like a lot of people say, like Deacon Jones would be the sack leader. But he the most sacks. They didn't have sacks back then, like how you destroy lines and stuff. But
and then too with football is back in the day they only had 12 games.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? You had 12
because like a 1,000-yard rusher was a big thing. Like you ran 1,000 yards for 12, for a 12-game season. That was huge. I mean, because you're almost rushing 100 yards a game. I remember as a kid growing up thinking, when you had 16 games, like, okay, you're 1,000 yards. Why is that a big deal? Like they always still kind of make it sound like it's a big deal. Like that's only like 60 yards a game. That ain't nothing. Like that's not that big of a deal. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like 1,500 should be like the standard or something.
Yeah, it was definitely a different setup back then, and the hits and stuff they could do, and the way they play was, they take big hits now. I mean, people are bigger, faster, but some of those hits were more violent back then compared to what they are now. Like you can
for sure.
You know, I don't care who you are. Dick Buckus was going to rip your neck off, and that's not the person you wanted to run into. So,
but how would you think like a Dick Buckus would do in today's game? Like, I don't think looking back at old like game tape and films and stuff, like I don't think he's as big and athletic as like I don't know, like a JJ Watt or somebody is today. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
is that the difference? Is that the guys now are faster and stronger, so they have to make the rules adjust to the athleticism of the guys now?
Yeah. I mean, some of the guys are definitely sort of bigger and faster. You'd have to have like some type of adjustment because I think if you looked at it now, someone like a Dick Buckus, who is a great middle linebacker there, I don't know if he'd have the movements and the covers that he'd have to have in today's system.
Right.
You look at someone like a Deacon Jones, I think he could still play. And but Deacon Jones was interviewed one time and he said they could even afford me to play football now. He said I would have been fined so much. I mean, he came up with the head slap.
True.
Helmet and ring their ears, and that's how you would get by them sometimes. And you can't do that kind of stuff now. So it's interesting. I mean,
like a Jim Brown, would he be as good today as he was then? You know, and they still today say he's one of the best running backs ever.
I think
number wise, yeah, for sure. Like, but would he be as good as some of the guys now? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Like, I think Jim Brown would still be good. I think Eric Dickerson would still be good. I think O.J. Simpson was still, because in those kind of roles, you're still getting the ball, still running downhill. It's kind of like, you know, your leading rusher, Emmitt Smith, what he had back then. I mean, you still have that type of game, and in some ways, you might even
That's true.
It could even be something even worse. Imagine if they were doing stuff back then they're doing now. Imagine you're throwing a swing pass out to Jim Brown, and you got to take him down on the outside. You know, you might not make that tackle, or an OJ or a Marcus Allen. You know, because Marcus Allen, when they started swinging him out, he was killing it as a running back out of the backfield.
Yeah, and running back probably more so than any position. Now I think about it, offensively, anyways, probably not much change to it. Like you still got to still have to run between tackles, you know, find your holes, whatever. So, I mean, it's not really been much change there. It doesn't seem.
Yeah.
Like, as far as rules go, like quarterbacks, you can't hit them. They've got, you know, there's so much different. It's more of a quarterback era now for sure than it was. Yeah.
There's more protection.
20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, you look at quarterbacks, like someone like a Joe Montana could have probably played a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Or even like a Terry Bradshaw, or, you know, some of these quarterbacks that left a little bit earlier that might have been able to come back and have a little bit longer of a career. So
when you wonder somebody like a Tom Brady, if he played 25 years ago, would he be the quarterback that he's been now? You know, like,
because through the career, you watch Tom Brady, he's always like looking at the ref for a call. And I think back then someone would take his head off if he tried that again.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that he would have played more than 5 years back in the day.
Yeah.
He'd have probably taken such a beating, he'd have been like, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go model or something.
Yeah. Those quarterbacks were a little bit more gritty back then, too, you know? So, yeah. But, yeah, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get this baby wrapped down. Like we're at 11:04 here. So, got a little bit off tangent, but you know how it is. That sometimes happens. Gilbert asked about Canadian beer news. I didn't see any Canadian beer news pop up.
Canadian beer news.
I didn't just search American news. We had UK news in there, but didn't see anything out of Canada.
It's all made with maple syrup, Eric. It's all made with maple syrup.
Canadian news, maple syrup is good.
Canadian bacon, not so much.
Brady got stopped. Yeah, Brady got stopped to those. I can remember like Giselle, like people were criticizing, like, you know, Brady not winning those championships, and she was like on Instagram or something one time, like, Tom doesn't play defense. It's not his fault. Like, so yeah. But thanks again for everybody that tuned in. And as we kicked it here, and appreciate everybody that tuned in earlier in the week as well, because it's definitely been a good amount of lives here on the channel. I'm going to get back and get some uploads and stuff up. I don't know if I'm going to do a live again this weekend just because I've had so many. I got other stuff done. One of the things I'm actually doing, I don't think I told you, Todd, but I got to get caught up. I'm doing the science of beer class online, so I got to get caught up on that this week.
Okay. No, I didn't know that.
Put the time in and increase the knowledge base. So
there you go.
Need to get that knocked out this weekend. Next week, there may not be a show because actually Thursday is the wife's birthday, and might have to pull the plug on that one. So it might be 2 weeks before the Thursday night show comes back up again, just so you guys are aware. Usually we'll do something, and then if she ends up nodding off, I may come on and do a stream or something. That'll be kind of a last minute second. So we'll see how that plays out.
And maybe I can pull a guest appearance by Shannon then.
Yeah, maybe. So we'll see what all happens along those lines. But thanks for everybody that tuned in. Look forward to catching up with you guys soon. If Stodgy catches this broadcast, he wanted me to do the meat. I might do the meat live this weekend. I am going to drink the meat finally because he wants to see what I think of it. So if I don't do that live, I'll do an upload. But that is something maybe Saturday or Sunday I can actually do here, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and sign off. Look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Keep drinking those good craft beers. Remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.